What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TLP Sports Club. The show you are watching is TLP Live. I am your host. I go by the name of Harry B, and the B means billion. I appreciate you joining me today. I have one question that has a lot of different intricacies, different things, different avenues that it's going to take. The question is, are the Cleveland Browns giving Shedeur a chance, or are they just stuck? All right. Are you calling this a chance, or what are you calling this? All right. Are they out of options, or this is actually an opportunity that he has earned through his play? I'm going to talk about that, or we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But you know what we do here before we do?
BWB bandwagon buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. So the news is already out. Everybody has heard about it. And if you haven't heard about it, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starter for the preseason opener of the Cleveland Browns. All right. There are some mixed feelings. I don't want to seem like there's a lot of it. No, there's some. And I think rightfully so. The fact that Shedeur starting, we as a fan base who's been touting that whole, yes, come on, give him the reps, give him the reps, give him the reps. Sounds like a song. Give him the reps, give him the reps, give him the reps. Us that have been saying that the entire time, he finally gets the start and we're not celebrating? Why is it that we're not like going crazy, throwing up the machetes in the Bible? You feel me? Why are we not doing all of that? Well, there are some things to discuss about that, all right? And that's what I want to know. How do you feel out there? How exactly do you feel about what's going on? And I want to know, like, give me 1 second, guys. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I do want to know, how are you feeling out there about him starting? Are they giving him a chance, or are they out of options? Okay. I did bring some help today. Hopefully YouTube will allow me to monetize this video and be able to use the different talking points that everybody's having or everybody's had on their own podcasts or television shows. I brought some help, and we're going to get some of that help. Before we get deep into the show, however, guys, keep in mind that this is a live, you know what I'm saying? The first couple of minutes on the show, we do introductory stuff, and then we get into the meat of the show. So if you are watching this post live, I don't know if you want to fast forward just a little bit to get to the real juicy part of the show, but you know, the introductory stuff, I understand if you are watching post, it may not be as interesting. But this here is a call-in show, guys. You can call into the show. Join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to email me. Then I send you the link. You come on to the show, and then we have a discussion, a panel discussions, and we talk about this thing. That's what we do here, all right? And for those of you guys who are feeling generous and you want to bless this show, you want to bless me and say, Harry B, I know that you guys, you YouTubers are like artists. You're like actors. You're struggling actors. Until you make it, you're going to need some financial help. And if that's you and you're thinking that out there, yes, I do need financial help. My Cash App is right there. It is $ TLP Sports Club. And I do appreciate, and I want to say thank you to all of those who have been donating, who have been blessing the kid. I want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It is valued and is appreciated. Again, that's $ TLP Sports Club right there at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching, I know a lot of y'all are probably just listening on the audio through the TLP Sports Club podcast while you work out. I do understand that. But to call into the show, guys, is join tlplive@gmail.com. Write it down. Let's get going with the show. We got a lot of things to cover, a whole lot of grounds to cover with just a little bit of time. All right, so let's go ahead and get deep into this show. Let's dig in right now. The first in the chat, I want to say James Wesley Jr., what up with you? Hope all is well. Jeffrey Champion, hope all is well. All right. Jeffrey says, my question is, do you think it's a good idea to push Shedeur out there when he doesn't have first team reps and he's going against the Panthers first team? Yeah, that's part of the show. That's going to be part of the discussions, because I do have former NFL players who are on these ESPN shows and other shows that they're speaking about it. They're giving you the idea. They're giving you the answer to this question. So yes, we're going to get to the answer to that question. I have talked about it a little bit here myself, but sometimes it's better for you to hear from the veteran, the previous player. That way it puts some type of credence on it. You feel me? So it gives you a little bit more of a perspective from a player, somebody that understands, somebody that's been in these rooms, in these locker rooms, and they have more experience and they can tell you. When it comes from me, I'm just kind of like giving you what I've seen them do, but let them tell you. That way it feels more important. All right. So, I got Kent Cartman show, the Kent Cartman show with Anthony Lima. They're kind of having the discussion that I'm having today. They're having it's the same. It's the same discussion. So let's get started with them. Then I have some other clips that I want us to touch. That kind of put things into perspective on how we've been looking at this. And the reason why I'm telling you, the reason why I want to do it like this is because I feel like, right now we should be celebrating. Right now we should be like, Shedeur light it up. But the way that they've done it, the way that Cleveland's done this whole thing, it puts us in an awkward position as fans of Shedeur, and hoping we become fans of the Cleveland Browns. That's also another thing that I want to discuss. Is I do have some clips, because I feel like there is now a conversation that's being had. This same conversation I had before when we got to Colorado, there is now a conversation being had about Cleveland fans versus Shedeur fans. So we're going to cover some of that as well in this here show. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get going. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I got to remember this time to take off the introductory stuff. All right. Find a Way Media said it's a catch-22. It's reminiscence of that. You know what I'm saying? It has that feeling, right? That's why we're doing this show, so we can kind of get to the bottom of some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and share the screen, and then we can go ahead and get cracking in this show. All right, guys. Hopefully, YouTube, you will allow me to use this as a demonstration in my, I guess, reaction type of video. If YouTube doesn't allow me, somewhere in the video or in post, once I upload it to YouTube, YouTube will give me the opportunity to take this part of it out so I can still get paid, because doing these shows for free, it's kind of like hard without some type of, assistance. So here it goes.
Earned it. Okay, more on the other thing coming up here in a bit. 216-474-0092. I am surprised by the amount of people who think that this is a gift. Now, I take umbrage with the way that the question is asked on Twitter, to be honest with you, because right now,
who put it on Twitter?
Who didn't put it on Twitter?
So right now they're just talking about, is this a gift or is it earned? That's the essence of my show. Are they giving him a chance? Is Cleveland giving this guy a chance, or does it feel a little different to you?
I did not put it on Twitter.
So it was Mitch.
It was Mitch.
Mitch, what did you ask on Twitter? Is Mitch able to help us out?
Is ready to go.
Okay, Mitch, what did you ask specifically on the show?
Is Shedeur Sanders getting the Friday preseason start by default or something he's earned?
Okay, Ken, your problem is?
Well, you said it was a gift.
Yeah.
Well, default is different from a gift.
That is a much different wording. That is a much
It's
different wording.
It's not, Mitch.
I don't think it is.
So I don't give you gifts for your birthday, I give you defaults?
In this context, it's the same thing.
Oh, in this context. Huh. Happy anniversary, Anthony and Sarah. Here's a default. Default on what? Default on a loan?
Yeah, I do think it's kind of interchangeable the way we're talking about it.
No.
So I definitely understand what they're saying, it being a gift or it being default, a gift and default being the same thing. It's basically because the way that it feels, the way that it goes, it's supposed to go. Yeah, this default gift thing is messing me up a little bit. It's messing me up my whole head. But that's for hip hop fans out there. This one is messing me up my whole head. Let them get a little bit further into this, because I had a thought. I lost the thought because now I'm a little conflicted on the gift versus default. Because default would be kind of like, this is what you go to, right? This is your default. This is obviously what you, again, is default because of injury. A gift because somebody's feeling generous and they want to bless you with like some cash. That's why I say, if you're feeling generous and you want to give me a gift, you want to bless me, then you give me the gift, right? But if you earned it, that's a whole nother thing. When you go to work, right? Like I'm working here. I guess my boss would be YouTube or Google. And every month I get a check because I've earned it. So it's not a gift if I worked for it, right? So let's let them get into it a little bit. Todd Smith, what up? Dallas is in the building. Good morning. Todd Smith, I send you the link in case you can join. The link is already in your email. I'm starting to bless my people now. You don't have to keep sending emails. I'll just send you the link for those of y'all who are frequent on the show and you may want to join. I know that y'all can't join sometimes. I get it, but in case you can, the link is already there. You feel me? Dallas, y'all always blessing me. I might have to move to Texas one day. I'm not, but it felt good to say.
Not the way you said it. You said it as if Kevin Stefanski wrapped it up in a box and goes, here's your chance, little guy. Go out there. And the way that it's presented online is exactly what it is.
Well, it's got to be somebody. They need somebody.
It's presented online as there's been some injuries. So
well,
now, but that's not what you said.
You've had a wonderful career here at Odyssey, Owen. In your retirement, we've given you this nice default.
But it would have been the same if Huntley would have been the starting quarterback. That would have been a gift.
Yeah, son is having a hard time. I'm gonna call him Pink Boy from now on. Pink Boy is having a hard time with this. He is dropping every single analogy. Congratulations. Here's your default. He's having a really hard time with this one.
Somebody's got to play. We've got to evaluate other players surrounding you. It's not just the quarterback.
He wouldn't be the starting quarterback by default, would he?
No.
They have to give it to somebody. They can't not have a quarterback.
Huntley, it would really be a gift. It would really be a gift.
And I agree with you.
There you go.
That it would be a gift for Huntley, and it is default for Shedeur Sanders. But that's not what you said.
I mean, they're going out of their way.
A gift.
Yeah, they're going out of their way to tell people like Albert Breer and others who are discussing this because they want to make sure that people understand this isn't sabotage, the reason that he hasn't been getting the reps. They're telling people that he's having trouble commanding the huddle, getting the plays in, lining guys up, and understanding the playbook. By the way, normal stuff that a lot of rookies have problems with. I mean, that is not something new, and this isn't a Shedeur Sanders, oh my God, but we can't act like Shedeur Sanders
did. So then you agree he got a gift.
That's what
You agree with what you said. So why aren't you
call it a gift?
Yeah, why isn't it called a gift online in the poll that we're running?
It's amazing. Owen and I were staring daggers at each other 3 minutes ago, and now we're in total
I still
agreement.
hate you, but we're in total
we're
agreement.
in total agreement here. Though that's the way Congress should work, and we'd be going a lot further on things. Anywho, so
amen.
You said it was a gift.
Work for us.
It's not a gift.
Not against us.
If Nathan said he was earning first team reps, here's your first team reps.
After two guys go down with injuries.
After two guys go down with injuries.
Hey, you finally got the promotion. Two guys are dead. But okay, you earned it.
Had he not earned these,
I mean, they're making some really good points, and it's like, yeah, you didn't do the first team rep situation. Two guys are out, and now we're saying, hey man, you're starting. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to feel good. You're supposed to be celebrating, right? In a normal quarterback controversy, what would happen is You'll put these guys out there, and you will give them reps, first team reps, and you give them the fastest guys who can go on the offense and catch the ball, the better tight ends who can actually block for you, and then get open like Gronkowski. All right, choose your favorite tight end. That's not my favorite. I'm just saying that's the name that comes to my head because this is live. This is live. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. But yeah, man, you give them the best part of the show or the team, and you say compete. And let me put at ease those football heads out there. This doesn't have to take 3 weeks to shape. This is like day one. This is like, yeah, when they are mandatory to come. Dang, it sucks when you're like live and your words are when they are commanded to come, when they have to come. Okay, you know how you can't find a word, you got to use 3 or 4 other words to describe just that one thing. When they are determined, when they tell them to come, when you have to come. Okay, oh Lord. When you do 3 of these shows back to back to back, night and day, let me see you come up with some college words. I don't even think that's a college word. That's probably high school, depending on which high school you went to, Africa or America. You choose. Anyways, Liberia, what up? Yeah, man. So yeah, look. If you want to see who you gotta practice them, and only in the beginning. Like you don't even have to use a whole day, right? At the beginning of every practice, all right, 30, we got 1 hour, or no, not even an hour, 30 minutes. We're giving you 30 minutes to go head to head. You get 10 reps, let me put myself bigger because y'all can't see me now. Y'all can't see my emotion. You get 10 reps and you get 10 reps. Let's go. And then battle. This is 30 minutes every single practice. Well, not every single practice, the first couple of practice. In the first day, you will start seeing separation. Guys be out there. They're like, you will have the Dylan side. They'll be like, go, Dylan, go, Dylan, go. Then you will have the Shedeur side. Go, Shedeur, go, Shedeur, go. It's like at the high school graduation, you got that one popular kid where the whole crowd erupts when they call their name for their diploma. But then when they get to Dylan, and you get that 2 people that came in and like auntie and mom and dad. Yeah, Dylan. Everybody was like, Dylan. And then when Shedeur comes on, it's like you got a whole stadium full of people. Shedeur. Oh, I love it. Yeah, right? They go head to head, and then before you know it, by the second or third practice, we already know who it is. It's either going to be Dylan or it's going to be Shedeur. But not the Cleveland Browns. They want to do something different. So we sit here like, what you talking about, Willis? Where's that competition at? Why is Dylan getting all these reps? And I got a video clip for that too. But let me bring my guy, what's the name on? DC, Cars and Music. What up with you, DC? Thank you for calling, man. I appreciate you.
Man, I saw that thing come up. I was in there working on some music. I was like, I'm going to take a break, hook up with my boy Harry B. So what up with it? Let's get it.
Yes, sir. It's a good break because I'm also a music producer, so I definitely understand, when you're trying to find that chord, you just can't find that right chord, so you go, ten, 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 and then you go to the next, this is a good break, okay? Talk some sports, you know what I'm saying? After you get your wound up, man, I'm telling you, those chords will be like, you'll be like, oh, show! Okay.
But Harry B, just side note.
Uh-huh.
Man, a lot of my money is coming from the Philippines and Great Britain with CapCut and stuff like that. I'm going to tell folks, streaming, you don't make a whole lot. But that doggone, when people sync your music, it's all right. I just want to say, it's all right. We working it, though. Continue.
Hey, you better take it where you get it from.
You ain't lying, bro. It's like, shoot.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Let's do it.
Exactly, bro. Take the 2 cents, the 3 cents. It adds up. It adds up.
Yes, it does.
Well, boy, imagine when you start getting those big checks, boy. You'll be like, dang, God is great.
I will say this. Let's pause. That some people would think, if you retire and then you go to your dream job, I'm gonna tell you, you retire and you manage it well, there will be a period where you'll just get lazy not do nothing and enjoy your kids, but then you have to get that eye to tiger like you're doing mentality back, where you're like, all right, you know what? It all depends upon me. Yeah, I'm good, but you still have to, because this is gonna tie right into the is that I don't have to work for the rest of my life, but I'm going to work as if I got to eat my daily bread. And that's what I think that Shedeur is about to do, is that's how you have to work. So when your opportunity shows up, you ain't saying, well, no, you have to be ready. So let's get it.
For sure, man. For sure. Hey, just as a consolation, you talking about you being retired and you get lazy, bruh. I know dudes that get lazy on the weekend. Like, what you talking about? I know dudes that are not retired and their weekend, they're like, I give up. I'm done already. Like, so don't even worry about it. Let's bring on Todd Smith. Dallas is in the building. Todd Smith, what up with you, my guy? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Hey, good morning, brothers. Good morning, DC.
What up with you, Tim?
We back here again. We are back here again. I'm gonna pause this clip right now. I want to do a clip because it just came up in my dialogue that I was having before I brought DC on, and about the first team reps and whatnot. I want to go ahead and get this clip out the way because I feel like this is the right time to go ahead and play that. So y'all give me a second before I roll you guys in. Let me go ahead and pull up this clip because I think it actually makes the point of this right here. Excuse me, because a lot of people just don't understand when we're talking about pecking orders. Let's talk about pecking order just a little bit. Here it goes.
You know, I've seen a lot of people, especially after the draft and stuff, like, you can't just hand the job to Shedeur. You got to make him earn it. He's got to, earn his spot and show what he can do. Well, they handed it to Dillon Gabriel. They just handed him first team reps. Like, he didn't do anything to earn them. He didn't.
Except for get drafted in the third. It's not like he was drafted in the top
quarterback. Yeah, third round quarterbers don't ever earn first team reps right out the gate. Jake Burns said that over the weekend.
It's one of those things too where they just seem to. It's like they fell in love with the person, and it's like the person might not match the player. You have guys coming out saying like he just doesn't belong on an NFL football field right now. Like Zach Jackson said, practice comes to a screeching halt when he goes into 11-on-11s. And I'm just like, how is this a guy who's getting first team reps then? What do the next guys have to do? Not even like Shedeur, just anybody on the roster. What do they have to do to eat into some of that? Because like we said, Dillon Gabriel wasn't picked third overall. He was picked in the third round. So why is he just being handed first team reps? I don't understand that part of it. I'm like, are we willing to die on the cross for third round pick Dillon Gabriel? Like, come on. Nobody else even had him on his draft board, at least not to be a starter.
Okay. So this is, a perspective that I haven't heard and I haven't, we talked, around it, but everybody's saying, well, he's a third rounder. So that's why he would get the first team reps. But then you get the former NFL players, as they were referencing, saying no, the third rounders, especially you're not being third overall. JR Boxing, what up with you, man? Get at me, son. You retired. You're not coming back on the show, man. I'm mad at you, bro. Come on now. I know you're military. You got stuff. Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell at you, man. Just come on the show, please. Yeah, man. So we haven't heard this perspective. What are your thoughts on this? I want to hear from y'all. Like, third rounders who are late third rounders don't get first team reps like that. Why are they handing this to Dillon Gabriel? And let's leave Shedeur out of it for a second so we can have a nuanced football conversation, because like I said, Shedeur's a trigger for a lot of people, especially my guy DC. I don't want to trigger DC. I want him to give me a fair answer. Leave Shedeur out of it. Tim Smith, you go first. Yardman, what up, my boy? Bop.
But no, Dillon Gabriel, I felt like wasn't a third round pick, but it's something that he said at the end that Dillon Gabriel wasn't on nobody's mock draft board. People who played the game, analysts that have been predicting the outcome of drafts for years. Didn't nobody have him on there? So clearly, the Browns, they are the Browns. They seem that they can't get anything right. Fell in love with the person. But I referenced a couple of shows back. Dylan Gabriel hasn't really shown anything in college to me besides being on loaded teams. But when the big games come, then that's when you see his flaws flourish to the surface.
The cream rise to the top.
It rises to the top. Oregon did not play anybody last season with that weak schedule.
Don't blaspheme. Be careful.
So
be careful. You got some college football heads around here.
I'm glad that they in attendance. But they didn't.
Go ahead, Tim. Cook, Tim, cook. Let him talk.
They didn't play anybody. So, but when he got into the more critical games, that's when you see his level of play really show. And now the Browns have him as their guy, apparently. Then
apparently,
yeah, apparently, I feel like it was just.
You said you was on one the other day, but today you on one. You on another one.
Yeah, apparently, he's their guy, and you know how you go fishing and you like, man, fish ain't biting over. I've been out here 10 hours and I ain't got a bite yet. Mm-hmm. So everybody else over there fishing with worms while you fishing with hot dogs.
Uh-oh.
So, hey, you may want to try these worms. You may catch a bite. Well, third round came around. The Browns decided to go to the worms, and they just so happened to snag Dylan Gabriel.
Hey, at KMS, we're leaving Shedeur out of this segment. All right? We want to have, I know Shedeur's a trigger for y'all. If we're talking about somebody else, then everybody wants to go to Shedeur. Leave Shedeur alone for a second. Let's just focus. Let's pretend Shedeur was never drafted, and let's treat him, Dylan Gabriel, exactly like a third rounder and everybody else in that room. So leave Shedeur alone, and let's see if we can have, if it's possible for us to have a football conversation. All right? DC, they said what they said. Dylan Gabriel did not earn first team reps. They're kind of giving it to him. The guy on the right, the far right, with some kind of weird Wolverine facial darkness. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a birth defect or whatever's going on with his face. He says that they fell in love with the guy, but the play does not represent the guy. What are your thoughts, DC? Leave Shedeur out of this.
Well, here's the thing. That they fell in love with his some of his measurables, of course, not his height, but as far as how he
because he couldn't measure the game. Up.
Right? Because look at you, look at you right there.
DC,
nice.
I see how you snuck that in, bro.
Yo,
but check this out. All right, so here's the thing. Let me go ahead and say this.
Don't say Shedeur, please, DC. Please.
I'm not about to say. I'm not saying the S word.
Please,
I'm not
DC.
saying the S word. I'm not saying the S word. I'm just going to sit here and say that bro was wrong about saying that nobody had Dylan out there. That is not a true statement.
Okay, who had him? Whose board was he on? And where was he at?
I know he was projected third, fourth round. That's what he was projected, and that's where he went.
Who did that? Who projected him third or fourth round?
There was several. I don't remember the name, but I have to go back.
All
and pull
HBCU media, bro. Come on.
No, it was not. So, but the point is that he was projected. But since we're not saying the S word, I am gonna say this.
It's so hard for you. It's so hard.
No. I'm gonna say this is that you can't use the same logic on one. You can't use the same logic for one thing and not use it for the other.
No,
Let's
no,
just keep it
no,
a buck.
DC, no, DC. Hold on. Pause the phone.
Oh, I was gonna move on
Remember,
after that.
we
I'm
can-
moving past that. I'm
Listen,
just saying.
listen. I
Yeah.
know it's hard for people to just have a conversation, a football conversation. Okay. Let me say this. Let me get my thoughts for 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. Because
If you let
Shedeur
me finish it, explain it. It'll make sense in just a second. I
Look,
promise
no,
you.
but because Shedeur's in the conversation, it's hard for us to really look at the other quarterbacks for what they are, because then we have to compare apples and apples and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying let's leave Shedeur alone for just 1 second and see if we can just look at Dylan in just his whatever he's doing, good or bad. Go ahead, DC. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that I'm attacking the theory that we got to take a look at. So here's the thing: is that they picked Dylan for whatever reason. I mean, Dylan does have a good arm. Now, people could say he can't see over or something, but Dylan does have a good arm. Dylan is able to pick up on things, and I have to disagree with my brother Tim. He beat Ohio State. He beat Ohio State. He beat several top 20 defenses. All right. So we got to give him that respect, is that, hey, he might not have won the game, but he didn't lose it. And that's okay. The thing I want to also talk to people about when you look at draft thing, let me just go down this real thing, make this point, and then I'm shutting up. All right. First QB, I'm just going to go on order how they were drafted. Jackson Dart, Tyler Show. Let's stop there. Who had him projected? Hardly nobody. That was a complete shot going to New Orleans. Then we had Milroe. We expected him third round. Dylan came in. Then after that was Shedeur. Then Cal McCord. Then Will Howard. Then Riley Leonard, which most folks don't even know who that is, even though he played for Notre Dame. Graham Mertz, who played at Florida. You got Cam Miller. Y'all know who he was. He played for North Dakota State. Then there was Curtis Rourke from Indiana. They did pretty good. And then Quentin Ewers. So when you look at this list of how it is, that if you're looking at it from a football standpoint and you look at their numbers, we're not saying the S word. A lot of them,
Oh my gosh. You see how hard this is for you, bro?
No, it's not hard to have
Yes,
it. It's
it
just to a
is,
point.
bro. You keep
It's not
saying,
hard to
every
not have
time you
that.
said this, we're not using the S word. That means that you're thinking about using it.
No. What I'm saying, because the statement I'm about to make is that what the NFL from this draft looked at, a lot of them, they did not see hardly any of them as world beaters. Though we have
I
Cam
got
Ward. That's
pushback.
okay. Go ahead. But hold on. I'm
No,
gonna
I
ask
want
you
you to
this.
finish your thought
Hold
first.
on. So the end of the day is I think they picked Gabriel, but I don't think they were absolutely in love with Gabriel. I just think they were less in love with the other people.
What other
After
people?
that,
Say it. What other people?
like
Say
I just
it,
said, but
DC. I dare you.
What I'm saying that's why I named off all the people how they were drafted, other than
Uh-huh.
Cam Miller. It's because even though they could have had Cam Miller, I also don't think they were in love with anybody enough to make them a franchise QB1, and they also could not afford to. So you got several parameters. My bottom line is that I think they didn't necessarily like everything they saw, but they liked because they could have gotten Milroe.
But wait, are you answering a different question? Because I want you to like zoom in on the question I asked. I'm not talking about draft and why he was drafted. Like,
I'm trying to kill the narrative that Cleveland is in love with Dylan. That is not true. I don't see that at all. I think it's that out of everything they saw, that they felt, hey, we're going to take a shot on this guy, because at the end of the day, the way they maneuvered, their plan all along was Pickett and then Flacco to be in there, and then they just added in a rookie just to see what's going to happen, and then Shedeur just so happened to be on the board, and they pulled him.
okay,
But
but
I don't think they're in love with him.
thought, you trying to kill that concept is debunked because he's a third rounder getting first team reps. So then how do you explain that
I
part of
can't
it?
explain how they get that because you were giving Kenny Pickett first team reps. You gave Flacco. Flacco hadn't been taking a whole lot of reps. So somebody's got to get those reps. If you have 50 reps in practice and you've already given Kenny Pickett 17, 18, 20 of them, who are you going to give the rest to? So I think if you gave
So then
Flacco
that's
10,
that default conversation
yeah,
they was having in the
exactly.
beginning.
That's what I'm saying.
So so he's getting the reps by default. That's interesting. Hey, Tim, go ahead, push back. I got JR Boxing waiting in the green room.
Okay, real quick. The NFL didn't think that the caliber of QBs that were coming out this past season were good enough. They think that they're way better coming out in 2026. Harry B posted the top 10 QBs for the upcoming season. And I stated the number one quarterback they have is the kid from Baylor. He only threw for 148 yards against CU last year. If he's the top, or not to say because the season hasn't been played yet, but if they have him at the top projected quarterback for college football, then that's a class in my opinion.
Well, see, Tim, that's the thing I'm saying is that last year they felt they had some studs. And then some of them have turned out to be pretty decent, like Knicks. Absolutely Jaden Daniels, but some of them have not turned out to be good. But with this class right here, is that you know, again, when people start saying first round pick is one thing, but first round pick for this draft, there was already talks as that, hey, this isn't a QB heavy class. And as far as like, believing they were day one starters or franchise QBs. And the thing that was an issue is that a lot of teams were not looking for QBs. You can see how they drafted. They were not looking. They were making the choices to make the decision to be more veteran based or people that were already in the league than necessarily go in here and pull somebody. And again, y'all have to remember the Browns could not afford a franchise QB. So that's why they did their trading back. It was like, well, you know what? We can probably get our defense solidified in the first round, but picking a QB, it just didn't make sense for them because that's why they went and got Pickett.
All right, so let me bring in JR Boxing, but first I
that.
want to say Mr. Peter Investor he's shots fired. He's firing shots at all those other YouTubers. I'm just saying it was a subtle shot for Peter Investor. I'm taking this as you firing some shots. Harry B have the best football analyst on your panel. So all you other suckers, all right?
Thank you, Peter.
Y'all eat that. I'm just saying, eat that. But anyways, let me bring on JR Boxing. I'm saying I like to start trouble because trouble brings the views. You feel me? JR Boxing, man, what you hitting today? What up, my guy? Thank you for calling in.
Harry, what's good, man? Ty was good. DC was good with you, fella.
What's
Man,
good? What's going on,
why
bro?
you been staying away from the show? Because of what's the name is saying? You trying to support those other guys? You leaving me in the dust, man? What's happening?
Man, what you talking about, Harry? Look, Harry, I'm about
I don't know.
consistency, man.
I'm just on one this morning. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
JR,
My bad.
JR got him a new boo. He got you a new boo, don't you?
I'm about consistency, man.
Yeah,
Harry,
who's your new
you
boo,
just
huh?
start
Who's your
coming
new
back
boo?
on consistently. That's all I'm saying, man.
Oh Lord. Okay. Hey, they said they out here talking junk about Dylan Gabriel. I'm trying to do this without mentioning Shedeur Sanders. We're trying to evaluate Dylan Gabriel in his bubble. They said they gave Dylan Gabriel. You know what? There's a few people here that's new. Let me just run this back. It's real short. I'll run it back just the first couple of seconds, and then I want your thoughts on this.
I can't hear it. Can you guys?
Nope.
Nah, I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear it?
Mm-mm.
You say y'all say y'all not hearing it?
Nope. Can't hear anything.
Oh, my bad. You know what? Stop. Sorry. I'm glad y'all said something. Oh, sorry. I gotta share it so you can hear it. It's weird because I got it on my screen. I thought I could just press play and then
Like, you can't just hand the job to Shedeur. You got to make him earn it. He's got to, earn his spot and show what he.
Y'all can hear it now?
We got
Yep,
you.
Okay, good.
Loud and
Thank you.
clear.
Well, they handed it to Dylan Gabriel.
And it's
They
not
just
like- it's
handed
not
him
like-
first team reps. Like, he didn't do anything to earn them. He didn't.
except for get drafted in the third. It's
Third
not like
round,
he was
but
drafted in the
third round
top five.
quarterback. Yeah, third round quarterbacks don't ever earn first team reps right
Sure.
out the gate. Jake Burns said that over the weekend.
It's one of those things too where they just seem to. It's like they fell in love with the person, and it's like the person might not match the player.
Yeah, this guy is Wolverine for sure. He's Wolverine. All right, so I want to get your thoughts, JR Boxing. It's in a bubble. We are leaving Shedeur's name out of this. Shedeur has nothing to do with this conversation. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Look, Dylan Gabriel getting the first team reps because that's what the coaching staff. That's what they want to do. I mean, essentially, you look at it. They got him in the third round, right? Draft analysis. If you go back and look at it, he was projected as like a day 3 guy, maybe undrafted. So from the 4th to the 7th round, that's day 3. But I mean, they got him a whole round early, so it was obvious something that they liked in Dylan Gabriel because they brought him to the organization, they interviewed him, put him through workouts, whatever the case may be. So it was something that Kevin Stefanski and whoever's around Kevin Stefanski liked in Dylan Gabriel. And then you think about Kenny Pickett. I mean, they traded Kenny Pickett for a 5th round pick. So I get it. Look, 4 or 5 years ago, Kenny Pickett was a 1st round guy, but a lot of people was like, man, that's kind of a reach. He was the only quarterback to go in the 1st round at that point in time. And his career hasn't really panned out as a 1st round talent. So you got to think now they got him as a 5th round. They traded a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett. So when you look at that, hierarchy of QB, Dylan Gabriel essentially is like the guy that should get the reps. Now, I know like these people say he didn't really earn it or anything like that. But if you look at the Browns organization, like point of view, like he is the top QB. If Deshaun Watson not hurt, then he's the top QB, obviously. A lot of money invested in him. But after that, like Dylan Gabriel, the 2nd highest quarterback on the roster as far as when it comes to money. So the NFL is about, we pay you money, we're going to try to get whatever we can get out of that money. So they have to go through the wickets to see if he's worth the money. Dylan Gabriel got the most guaranteed money. After Deshaun Watson, it's Dylan Gabriel, then Joe Flacco when it comes to like most guaranteed money. So,
all right. So let me ask y'all this question. You haven't been around to speak on this part of it. Do you think the Cleveland Browns are interested in a quarterback this year? Because the way that they're moving, it doesn't feel like they're interested in a quarterback this year. They just need somebody to just be able to throw the ball or hand it off, and it feels like they got something else going on. So what is your thoughts on that? Do you feel like they needed a quarterback, or they really want to find a quarterback right now?
I mean, they drafted 2, so that would lead me to believe they're interested in a quarterback. I mean, you drafted 2. If not, you would have just drafted 1 and just, kept it moving. You could have picked up 2 free agents, in free agency. So you drafted 2 quarterbacks. So you're interested in the quarterback position. But like DC said, when you start racking and stacking like how much money they have allocated to the quarterback room, they got like, you start adding all those contracts together, that's like $60 million. And more than 70% of that money is not even going to play. So it comes down to economics when it's the NFL. Money going to play. They're going to put money on the field. Unless the money is just like god awful, but they're going to put that money on the field first because you want to get return on your investment.
All right, so let's move on in this segment of the show, because this what these guys are kind of describing. This is what the meat of the whole idea is. So let's dig into this.
Announcement yesterday. They are going to start Shedeur Sanders at quarterback for the team's preseason opener against the Panthers Friday. The decision comes in part due to fellow quarterbacks Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel dealing with injuries. But make no difference. Sanders has yet to see any consistent first-team reps throughout camp, but will be given an opportunity to prove himself. We have a great loaded NFL panel here on the show. We start with Lewis Riddick. Lewis, this start is significant to say the least. Injuries aside, even though it's preseason, though, what is at stake for Shedeur Sanders going out there Friday as the QB1 for the Cleveland Browns?
Well, look, this is the opportunity I think we all would like to see him get in terms of having first-team reps in a game setting. Now, the problem is he hasn't taken a whole lot of reps with the first team. So as I talked about previously here, this is the kind of scenario that you don't want. You're going out there with the first team, but you haven't really repped with them. You haven't really gone through all the different calls that the quarterbacks that have been getting the majority of the 1s and 2s have gotten. So for him, hey, look, he may not be able to lock down the starting job with this performance.
Same old phone?
All right, let's hold on for the commercial, guys.
Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
YouTube, this is not my commercial.
I paid for my own college, so I knew I'd have to start accumulating a lot of money, paying student loans, paying rent. There wasn't much left.
But he can definitely lose it. That's just the life of being a late-round draft pick. They expect you to be perfect, although you weren't necessarily set up for perfection. But if there's anybody who...
And KMS, if you're still watching or listening, this one is for you. All right? They want you to be perfect, but they don't set you up for perfection. This is what you commented, and I said, we want the guy to practice with the first, to be prepared properly. This is a former 6-year NFL player saying this. All right. And he's been the director of personnel on the Eagles. I'm just saying.
Who was built to handle this kind of opportunity. It's him, because of the kind of football he played at Colorado, because of the kind of young man that he is. So look, this is what we've been waiting to see. This is what all young draft picks want to see. And the only thing I'll say for him is this: you got to go out there, you got to make 1 or 2 wild plays, play a clean game, but you got to give them something to remember when they go back in those personnel meetings.
That's the first thing I want y'all to talk about. I want to get opinions, thoughts on that. The last thing he said, even though we're going to cover the other parts that he said. Does Shedeur have to go out there and do something special? Like, even if it's not in the playbook, he got to sling one. Let's get Tim Smith's comment first.
I think that he needs to go out there and be able to show that he can control the offense, pretty much display everything that was taught to him in minicamp, OTAs, up until this point. I'm not worried about if they got Judy out there, if he's out there with the first team, because there's one thing in particular that I think Shedeur holds above everybody, for the exception of maybe Flacco. And that's his ability to put the ball in certain places. For example, the overthrown ball in minicamp that they were just showing. He overthrew his receiver by a little bit. If that was Judy, he was going to hit him in stride.
Wait, Tim. I need you to hone in on this question I asked you though.
Mm-hmm.
Does Shedeur need to go out there and do something special? Like, does he have to sling one, even if it's not on the playbook?
No, I don't think he need to go out there and do that. I think he just need to go out there and get first down. Show that he can control the offense. Show that he can move the ball down the field, to put his team in a good situation to win. I don't think he has to go out there and be miraculous like he had to do at CU.
Okay, so you think him just playing good is good enough?
Yeah, just playing football is good enough. He don't have to go out there and be the hero like he has to, like he had to do at CU. You know what I mean? Trust the process.
Okay, DC, I'm going to color this a little bit for you. He's still fourth string on the depth chart, though he's starting. Whatever the start means, it did not reflect on the depth chart. So he's fourth string. He's getting to start out of circumstances, be it bad circumstances, but he's getting to start. Riddick is like, yo, man, you still fourth string, bruh. They gotta remember you. You gotta do something for them to remember you by. Is that true, or are you gonna side with Tim?
I think we got to take that within context. I don't think because Shedeur's not calling the plays. The OC is calling the plays. I don't think the OC is going to call the play that he may take his points. Let's say, for example, a deep ball, 20 yards plus. I think he'll have his chance. And if he makes that, that's good. But I don't think they're going to call a game where they're going to basically say, go out there and do magic. I think what the main thing they're going to look for, and this is going to probably elevate him more than anything, is that they're looking at his decision making. If he can come back to the sideline and explain why he was doing and what the coverage was giving him and all that kind of stuff, that will be huge, because the issue was never his ability or talent. It was they've been saying understanding, some of the stuff that's going on. It's faster. Okay, they're not saying he doesn't understand. So if he's able to come back,
that's the last segment. So don't dig too deep into that.
I won't. That's right. I'm trying to get off of that one. So the thing, what I think is that if they go out there and see good decision making, he's basically moving coverages, he's picking up the defense and stuff like that. That right there, versus it probably will win him a job far better than just throwing a 20-yard bomb for a touchdown. Reason why DTR, which was on there last year, I believe, was phenomenal in practice in preseason, but it did not pan out when they played games. Decision making is what all leaders are looking. Can I trust you to not just make the flash, but can I trust you to consistently make good decisions? That will be a win for Shedeur.
Okay, so was that a yes or a no for you?
I say he don't have to do anything spectacular. It's going to be more so his decision making. So I'm with Tim.
Okay, so that's a no. Okay, we got two no's. All right, JR Boxing, same thing for you.
I'm on the yes side. Look, man, you valued at where the team has you valued. You're fourth on the depth chart, and you're
so is Shiloh. Shiloh's also fourth string safety.
Yeah. So for me, I think about it like in a Brock Purdy, standpoint. Like, what did they say about Brock Purdy? He missed the irrelevant, literally the last person drafted. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's not super mobile. He's not this. But when he was in when he was in the Super Bowl game against the Chiefs, like, he made plays to keep them in the game. So Shedeur's gonna have to make plays. That's why you play the game. If he come out there and he just hitting check downs and he doing this and he doing that, like, that's cool. You moving the ball, but does moving the ball essentially help you win the game? Because if not, then they're gonna be looking for somebody else next year that can do something that can help them win a game. So he doesn't have to play out of his body. I'm not expecting Shedeur to go out there and be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. But when a play comes and you need to make a spectacular play, make the play. And that's it. And because you might only get one or two shots in the game to have a spectacular play. So when that moment comes, seize that moment. And then the rest of the game, you methodically, try to go downfield, hit the check downs, hit the plays you're supposed to hit. But the play that you're not supposed to hit, that's the difference between a starting quarterback in the NFL and that guy's okay in the NFL. So for me, I say yes, make the spectacular play if the situation comes to you.
So okay, then another question comes up a little bit. Comes up out of this. A risk taker who is successful with his risk is known as a hero, but a risk taker who does not complete his risk is the fastest way to get fired. Thoughts on that?
I mean, that's what the NFL is about. It's about making the plays that's in front of you. Like I'm looking at the comments and somebody was like, "Come on, man, the narrative with the 5th round." Like I feel as though Shedeur should have went in the 1st round. That's how I feel. But I'm not the Browns organization who drafted him at the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking my personal feelings aside. Like, yeah, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he should have been the number 1 quarterback pick. He should have been on the Titans team. But that's not reality. Reality is he was drafted 5th round. All right, so if that's your reality, then you have to go and play through that reality. So when you're on the field and the opportunity presents itself, make the spectacular play. You have to take the risk. High risk, high reward, right? Because if he goes down, to me, I think if he just goes in there and he does what you're supposed to do, go in, call the play, check it down, check. And then next thing you know, it's like, all right, well, the next preseason game come around and he's still 4th on the depth chart. But if he goes in and calls the play, keeps the offense on time, and then you look at the game and like, wow, like he really, like that was a 60-yard bomb, or man, you saw how he avoided that 1 sack and still managed to throw the ball 45 yards down the field. Then people are gonna be like, oh, okay, that may sway the mind of the organization, because obviously throwing 70% in camp is not swaying their mind. It's not swaying them because you're still coming in 4th on the depth chart and you threw 70% through training camp.
Yeah, that's something else. The future of us says, as a professional sports reporter, or in caps, should I read it like mad loud on the internet? Who was live on location with Shedeur Sanders? It is a setup. I don't know if the two things equal. Like you were a professional reporter on the sideline with Shedeur, but you're saying this is a setup. If you're still here, can you please elaborate? Because, here at TLP Sports Club, we don't want to just take things for face value, because those two things are separate. Being on the sideline with Shedeur does not explain why you think it's a setup. Does that make sense? All right. So,
I want to add something to that, Harry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shedeur, when he's able to, I agree with you, JR. But when he's able to take those, whenever he's presented with those moments where he know, man, I got a mismatch, I got a one-on-one, maybe I can take my shot here. That's cool. But just being able to take control of the offense and know how to be able to read the defenses and all those little things that they say that you couldn't do prior to the draft that slid you to the 5th round. I think those are the things that I'm going to be looking for to prove the doubters wrong. I'm not necessarily, I know what he's capable of doing, but I'm looking for those small things that these other teams were talking, other 31 teams were talking about that he did wrong, because I still look at this as an interviewing process. Because there's other teams that need quarterbacks right now. So therefore, I'm not looking for you to come out and make a big splash. I'm looking for you to come out and be able to prove those doubters wrong on the small things. So,
but Tim, I gotta push back a little bit though.
Go ahead.
So, okay, this is a rookie we're talking about here, and if you want him to just be vanilla, isn't that all the journeymen that are behind him? I mean, in front of him, not behind him, because they're journeymen. All of the journeymen, like your boy Snoop, who they just signed. If you want somebody vanilla, then you got a bunch of journeymen who already are NFL experienced. So I think we're split on the panel. I agree with JR Boxing, where I believe you need to take a shot. Like, you need to do something spectacular, something that shows us who we saw in college. You need to do something, at least out of any of these three preseason games, depending on which other one you play besides the first one. You need to do something memorable besides just control the ball, because that's
not what I'm saying.
Anybody can do that.
That I'm not saying that you don't have big splash moments. That's why I started off saying if you have one-on-one and you see that opportunity there, take a shot. But if you're running around taking sacks, if you're running around not throwing the ball away, you should throw the ball away. You still you proven all 31 other teams. Oh, he the same as he was in Colorado.
Okay,
yeah, I mean
that makes sense.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'll say to that though is that, so even if you look like at Colorado, because oftentimes like when we think Colorado, we don't even think about the good things. We think about, oh man, like he took a lot of sacks and stuff like that. Like that's all the bad things. But then you think about the play with LeJohntay, the Hail Mary play. Like that's high risk, high reward. Like he had to break that tackle or elude that defensive end to get the ball downfield. Like those are the moments. So you only get like 1 or 2 moments like that in the game.
But what if it doesn't work, JR?
I mean, if it doesn't work,
the fastest way to get off this team.
No, I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, Harry, because look, everything you've been doing in practice, that hasn't gotten you elevated in the depth chart.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying go out there and play out of character, but when the moment comes, you need to be ready for that moment. Because in football, it's pretty standard. You're going to hand the ball off. You're going to have a little play action. You're going to hit some check downs. You're going to take what's there. But then when it's time to make a play, when it's 3rd and 11 and you taking the check down, could you have progressed to that 2nd, maybe 3rd read? Or you just taking the check down just to be like, oh, let me just take the check down so I get back on the bench.
I see what y'all are saying, because it makes sense, because it's like, okay, look, man, it is what it is. Whatever transpired, your fate is already sealed. You just have to see what the seal, you have to unseal it to see what happens. But don't go out there playing, second guessing yourself, playing scared. Just do what Shedeur does.
Just do what you do.
Do what you do, and then let the chips fall where they're gonna fall at. The future of us. This is my first time seeing this name on the chat. The future of us. But I thank you for being in the chat today. This is what this is the explanation of what I asked. He hasn't practiced. He hasn't had the practice time or the time he needed to get ready. But if you stay ready, you don't have to be ready. Oh, you don't have to get ready. The journalism, my journalism colleagues are being paid to sabotage him. I believe in him completely. So that one is a heavy one, because there are some people, when you read their articles, it seems like they have an agenda. And when I went to journalism, when I took a few classes at UNC Greensboro for journalism, it was just something I did, cause I was studying film and I just wanted to know the other side with like what was going on. Cause we actually had to we had to film the journalism class. So I just took a few. Back in the day, it used to be like you had to stay neutral and you had to report with integrity, and you were to turn down, pay for play, because we depend on you, because the world or whoever your audience that you're writing for depends on you. So if you're doing it for money, then go to Hollywood, go do something else. But if you decide to be a journalist, then your integrity is everything. It's like your street creds. If you're a rapper, it's everything. You don't snitch. You don't do X, Y, and Z. So journalism was held at a very high, what's the word? They were held in high esteem. Nowadays, like everybody's just doing anything, and anybody is called a journalist. Even podcast hosts who have relationship with these players who get to interview them, they're being called journalists, which is a little bit, is muddying the lines. Is everything is blurred, like blur lines, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
Hey, I want to get. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that I see, people are embellishing, and that's those for Shedeur as well as against Shedeur.
Right.
Because, like, for example, when you look at some of the footage, folks will say, I was dropping a dime. But when you really kind of look at the whole thing, you realize it would have been a sack and the person pulled up and the pass was still thrown. So you're not always getting, but then they're also to a point where they're not, some of the stuff that Shedeur is doing, they're not playing. I don't trust most of it because they're feeding you the algorithm. Just to keep it real, knows favorable Shedeur content sales. A lot of the content creators know favorable stuff sales because that's what his fans are very passionate, and they want positive information. They want you to tell them the things that are flattery and complimentary. All right, so we gotta understand that not all information. That's why you gotta look beneath the surface to find out if it's true, not accepting everything at face value. That's why I'll dig into numbers. As far as what I'm saying,
But I got a question for you, DC, before you continue.
Go ahead.
In politics, there are echo chambers.
Yes.
The reason why people vote and watch channels the way that they watch channels and they vote the way they vote is because of that information. They don't want their minds to be tainted with other information. So whether you're on the Dylan Gabriel side or you're on the Shedeur side, you're not looking for negative news about your player. Now, if you are me, you want the both. I want both because I want to be able to make a sound decision or be able to come on this here channel and talk about something in a sound way, not to be skewed by what happened with Hillary Clinton. If you were for Hillary Clinton in 20, I forget when she ran, all you heard was she was leading in the polls. So you sat back, you relaxed, and you were enjoying all of the bash Donald Trump situation. And then you got that shocker, that gut punch when it was all said and done, when it said Donald Trump is projected to be your next president. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be in an echo chamber, but apart from me, the fan base, the people that like Shedeur, is it fair to say that they should be like neutral and get good and bad? So I don't know what you want to say about that.
I think that's their choice. I can only tell you, I approach stuff, my background military, and it's like, hey, I can look at a plan. You got to leave your biases at the door before you even start the planning. And then you have to be able to tear that plan down and look at your gaps and your issues so you can build the best plan if possible, which means you have to also take in some negative information. And whether you like it or not, folks, your haters can point out your flaws. I know folks hate to hear that, but they absolutely can point out your flaw. They are very good at what you don't do right.
Bruh,
so you can't go ahead.
But bruh, I posted a video. Everybody, like, I got like at least 5 people saying, bro, you talk too much. The next video, I got straight to the point. I said, the heck with this, you ain't gonna keep frying me. No, but like when I started the channel, there were so many people just, telling me stuff. And then I made it my business not to take it personal. You know what I'm saying? And not to delete those people unless they got personal, right? Then I had to block a few people because instead of just telling me what I could work on, they were just belligerent. So, but you shouldn't take things personal. It's very hard to do that. Just like DC, it's hard for you to talk about dealing without Shedeur.
No, it's not. It's just that I'm trying to bring the balance because
it is.
because I got but the thing is, I'm gonna finish that last statement I was saying as far as like decision making. I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example because JR brought up the Baylor game, and that was a 50-50 ball. I'm gonna bring up something that my that I like Milroe, but there were times where he played like Mildew. So we all remember the pass that he threw in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, where it was 4th and 35, and he threw the ball perfect position. Isaiah Bonds caught it. We won. But the play before, folks forget that he ran over the line of scrimmage, which is what pushed him back because because he was not thinking. He was trying to get that pass off, even though he probably had enough to be able to get the first down, or he should have threw the ball away and had an idea what a line of scrimmage. So see, those are the type of things, and then he would make decisions like that that would cost us games. That's why I'm saying you can have all the talent that you want to, but that's something that Saban and a lot of coaches. Hey, I'll go back to the game. What was that game where they lost against Stanford? And that after the game, which I had mad respect to Prime after he said that, he said Shedeur should not have thrown that ball. We should have lived to fight another day. It was in overtime. And so that's
Yeah,
those things you
I
got
gotta
to
push back, DC.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I mean, that's what sports is about, pushing the boundaries for all athletes. I mean, you know that in life, even in the military, it's about pushing the boundaries. So for everything you say, like, well, Jalen Milroe did this. All right, Russell Wilson in the biggest game on the 1-yard line throws the pick when everybody like, dog, he should have called the audible. Dog, he should have QB sneak. Or dog, you should have handed it off to, you know what I'm saying? So the story for everything is always different. Shedeur with the Hail Mary. The play was designed to go to Travis Hunter. They had him triple team. So he rolled out to the left and threw it to LeJontay. So
But the pushback, JR, is, in the military, we do something. It's almost everything you do has risk. So you have risk management.
But that's life or death. We're talking about a game of sports. It's not life or death in the game of sports. In the military, for sure, it's life or death. But guess what? The special operators, they still push the envelope.
Yes.
Every single time they life on the line, my unit, they push the envelope. We pray everybody come back safe, but you still push the envelope because the mission got to get done regardless. We get on that plane in the middle of the night, it got to get done. So however it get done, no matter how much we practice, no matter how much we prepare ourselves through preparedness, there's risk going into it, but you still push the envelope.
Okay, so watch this. Now I'm gonna challenge you because we talked about
military guys. Y'all go at it,
right? Because we talked about the Baylor game and we talked about that Hail Mary and it worked. But as well as I know is that what you want to do is to a point where you don't put yourself in a situation where you are out there on a wing and a press. So if we back up to a couple of those plays for the Baylor game, you're gonna see there was mistakes made. You're going to see where it put them in a position to have no choice but to make that throw. Because if you remember, they were up in that game. And so that's what I'm saying is that when you unpack it, it's that, yes, it worked. But then when you start looking at it, it was like, hey, that did work. And I'm glad we got the dub. But now let's go back and fix some of those things that led us to where we had to make a Hail Mary to win. Because you don't always want to be in a position where you have to pull a rabbit out your hat.
DC, you talking about the whole team. We're talking about one player specifically. I get it from a team standpoint. Sure, if this lineman would have made this block, if this running back would have caught this pass, if Will Shepherd wouldn't have dropped this reception, but that's sports. So when you're the player and you're Jalen Milroe, and guess what? You were trying to make a play and you ran over the line. Oh, I'm just trying to make a play. And then he comes back the next play and he throws a dart in the back of the end zone. He just trying to make a play. That's what sports is about. Dog, you got to make the play. If it's in basketball and you got to shoot the 3-point shot for the win, you got to shoot the 3-point shot for the win.
Can I ask something real quick?
If you decide to pass it, and the person that you passed it to don't hit the shot, then you still lost. So you got to take it's high risk, high reward. That's why they call it high risk, high reward.
Right. So high risk, high reward, because your leaders are the ones that are willing to take the risk, even though they understand the risk and you could fail. But it's people that you trust, like you come to trust those people who are willing to eat whatever the results are.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
They're not scared.
part of
They're not afraid to lose, because I think a part of winning is losing. And you have to understand that if you understand that a part of winning is losing, then you're willing to take those chances. And those people that you see as superstars or megastars, those are the people that have embraced that concept. They haven't let go. They're saying, look, man, I understand. And I think Kobe has a clip that's on the internet, and he tells you, look, man, I can take 10 shots and I can miss 8. I'm banking on that one that I make.
That's it.
Me? And that's I think that's what JR is trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the chance. I'm not saying go out there and just think you Brett Favre and you just gonna sling it all around and preseason. But when the opportunity is in front of you, you better seize that moment.
That's a different ball game. That's different.
That's all it's about. Because look, nobody's gonna reward you for doing what you're supposed to do. DC, you know, we've been in the military. They don't reward you for what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
But when you do the extraordinary, then that's when they're like, man.
Oh, here's another thing.
You get the Bronze Star, a Valor Medal, because you're doing the extraordinary. Just doing the ordinary thing, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. We train you to do your job.
So let me use this as a transition.
Yeah, him going out, calling the play, having command of the huddle and things like that. They expect that from you. Dog, we didn't see you do this in practice, so at this point, we expect you to do this. Maybe you slid in the draft because maybe we thought you couldn't do it, but now we got you in-house. We know you can relay the play. We know you got command of a huddle. So we expect you to do that.
So, DC, this is how you're going to understand it, even though I know you already understand it. It's like those who look for special things from God because they pay their tithes. You ain't getting no special treatment because you paid your tithes, because you're supposed to do that. Okay?
Yeah, they don't look. The Browns don't pay Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed to be standard. They paid him because based off his previous play, he was extraordinary with the Texans. He made things happen. That's why they paid him that guaranteed money.
All right, so look, we only got 6 more minutes to 12 o'clock, and I got to end at 12 something. So please, let's get this clip in. This is the final clip. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this, because the one thing that we haven't keyed in, that we haven't dialed in, is the reason why. DC, I got to salute you for, I guess, being the most consistent on the panel who's been pushing this idea of, hey, man, there may be something. So Mary Kay, I was going to open up the show with this. Mary Kay, and I wanted to ask some of y'all, I want to commission some of y'all to start listening to Mary Kay. Because when we first came into the Cleveland Browns fold or their ecosystem, a lot of people were calling Mary Kay a B. They were calling her a whole lot of dirty names. But I'm starting
why you drag that whole man? Why you do that, bro? I didn't know where that was going. But you said a whole lot of amen. All right, continue.
Right, but I'm starting to understand why she was inducted into was she inducted into the Hall of Fame or something like that? I'm starting to understand why she got the awards that she got. This lady is different. It takes a little bit of time to get it, and I think I'm starting to get it. But let's listen. Let's watch a few of those clips, and then you'll understand more and more.
Does our mascot look like Danny DeVito to you?
That doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's, where the subs matter most.
That commercial was not yours. And blah, 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 blah.
Focus on the subs, where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
Played a single snap with.
So they touched on it a little bit right there, but there's more coming with the Mary Kay report, because the Mary Kay report is becoming like Bible now. It's like, oh, okay, is coming to the forefront. DC, again, like I told you, you said this. What they are keying on is the film room. I think you said that yesterday, DC. Mary Kay is talking about the film room. And this may be a window into understanding why Shedeur hasn't been getting first-team reps. So the things that he's really need to work on is what we're talking about. They're going to talk more about that in this.
The first string offense. He hasn't thrown it,
All right, so let's get thoughts on that. They're introducing it. They're going to drop the gauntlet real soon, but they're introducing it. The pre-snap. We're hearing more about pre-snap now. Let me get some thoughts on that, please.
That's what I said initially in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do all that big splash and all that. All he need to do is come out and show that he can handle and control this offense, man. Be able to show glimpses of dissecting the defense. That's all the big splash and stuff. He don't need to do all that. And when it comes to Mary Kay, I ain't buying none of that. Mary Kay changing her tone because of the smoke from all these fans from across the United States coming at her at once. But I'm not buying nothing Mary Kay selling.
I'm gonna defend Mary Kay on this one.
Go ahead.
Because Tim, like we gotta keep it fair and straight here. Because I think she's been consistent. The first thing she dropped, and we heard it. I talked to DC, and DC was like, "You should pay attention to that." It was a little hard for me to take at first, but she dropped the first thing, and it was like somebody in-house was telling her, pay attention to pre-snap. Pay attention to reading, like the before you snap the ball. And now it's like everything is coming to a head. But she's been consistently saying that. I don't know that she's taking any hard line on Shedeur, because she's also said that he's really good. So I may not win you over now, but as the conversation continues, I'm telling you, maybe whatever you think you felt, try to do that thing that we do around here where we give an ear and then let the grace apply. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's cool. I'll take
Right.
the earbuds out.
No doubt. Go ahead, DC.
I will tell you this though, Tim. She has realized that. That's why when I see stuff, she's been turning off her comments when she says something negative. Go and look. Each time she has something negative to say about Shedeur, the comments is turned off. And I'll just be cracking up laughing
That's what I'm
at us.
saying, DC.
Chick shut
The
it
fans
down.
crucial.
Yeah, but the point being is that when you have somebody that's embedded like that at 30, for 30 years, is that she is getting information more than likely straight from the horse's mouth. Some of the stuff she said, I think it was incorrect, but when people do stuff, you have to decide if it's in, because even our law takes in if something was reckless, was it intentional, or was it malicious? I don't think that she's being malicious to it. I just think she's reporting what she's heard and then putting pieces together. And then, of course, that rush to be right will almost guarantee there are going to be times where you're wrong. But the thing is with her and all information, don't always just discard it because you don't like the vessel. Just kind of take a look at it and see if there's evidence to back it up. But my hope is that what you just said, Tim, was like spot doggone on as far as all he needs to do, pre-snap reads, do all that kind of stuff, command the huddle, stuff like that. That's huge for Shedeur. A nice 20-yard bomb is great, but doing all that kind of stuff, what else? Put it like this: if he does that, and I ask the chat, the chat as well as the panel, if he does all that, what else can you say about him? Not much.
That he Kenny Pickett. I mean, that's what people gonna say.
Then you gonna have your haters though, but Jr.
That's what they're gonna say. Oh, he's Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, but Jr. Can I just say this?
He's Mitchell Trubisky. Like that's what they'll say at this point.
Yeah, but
Because
can I
that's
just say,
what quarterbacks are supposed to do, DC. They're supposed to pre-snap read and all that. That's what they're supposed to
yeah,
do.
but what I'm saying is this. Just
All right, guys, you
out of
got
love.
30 seconds. Wrap it up because
Okay.
I got to get to
Out
the
of
next
love. This
clip.
is my final point. The thing I'm saying is that there's gonna always be haters out there. And there's gonna always be people that love you. And then there's gonna be some people that will tell that what we seek is the truth. That's all I'm saying.
I'm
I
gonna
wouldn't worry
say
about the
this.
haters.
Mary Kay, that's a backhanded compliment. Because the same is not said about Dylan Gabriel. All I heard was he processed information fast, this, that, and the third, but then you go out there and you go 3 for 14. Well, obviously information not being processed fast enough.
There's a
Because
difference.
it's not resulting on the field of play.
Oh, no. That's a difference. That's why I said we got to get to the next clips because they break it all the way down for us. Let's keep listening, even though I'm out of time already. But we got to do this. We got to do this because something they said, the way that they're breaking this down in this clip is changing my mind, man. I'm telling you, I don't want to be like the choir and say, oh, everybody's a hater. I hate to do that on this channel. I want to give grace in my ears and let my spirit decide what I'm hearing. So hold on.
Yeah, look.
Hey, y'all, when y'all get a second, y'all go to the Future of Us on their YouTube channel and support them. Thank you for supporting today.
Even
you know what? Because I gotta end. Let me just say what they said. I forgot which part of the clip because I was going to actually use this entire clip in the beginning of the show because I'm doing it at the end. Let me just tell y'all what it said. This is what Mary Kay said, and I'm going to paraphrase, but it made a lot of sense. She's saying Shedeur Sanders, when he's great in his accuracy, these are the things that we already know. Shedeur's good. After the pre-snap, Shedeur is he's looking really good. The thing that they're saying in-house, because now I'm starting to realize that somebody is leaking this information to Mary Kay, or she's just the insider, and this is what comes out of that insider privilege. So if she keeps beating this up, she keeps saying pre-snap, there has to be some type of credence to this, because now she is saying that all of the things that we are appreciating about Shedeur, those are the things that they appreciate with the organization. However, the things that they are working on is the pre-snap, the read, and everything you do before Shedeur becomes Shedeur. This is what I'm like, okay, let's take this in stride. If that's the case, then even though we don't hear the opposite of Dylan, but we actually do. We hear he can do the pre-snaps and the reads, but he doesn't become Shedeur after that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't become his accuracy in there. He's overthrowing. So it's like what we talked about earlier, or we talked about several shows ago. It's like, okay, what's more important? Maybe they're both equally important. But we got to be able to take both of them and say, okay, let's breathe and say, maybe this is important as well. The pre-snap stuff, the read stuff, and all of these things that he has to do, that he has to work on, and he hasn't done, we're talking about this in the post, in the after the cameras go off type of stuff. And that's why she and others are the only ones privy to this type of information. But why are they saying it? Why do they keep saying it? This is what I want everybody to pay attention to. Why do they keep saying it? Does it mean that he's dumb, he can't do it? No. What it means is that there's a lot of rookies that may struggle with so many words that are used in the pre-snap, so many things that have to be said, because everybody has an assignment, and everybody's assignment are in the play call. Purple, red, shotgun, orange, slow down, go high, go low. You got to remember every one of those things to be able to then, once you say hike, then become Shedeur, the part that we like. Let me get thoughts on that so we can get up out of here. Please understand what I just laid out. I didn't do it as good as they would have done it. I can't find the clip right now. But this is what people are saying. I don't think it's about Shedeur being bad or good. I think it's just the fact that that's that's one part of his game that they need to work on more. That's what I'm hearing now. But let me bring on Ronte before you go. Ronte, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for calling in. We're going to get you in just a second, okay?
Okay, Harry. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Tim.
I just want to say Mary Kay gonna have to say a lot more, be equal to me to get on back on my good side. But
okay.
I will give her grace. But I fit with your analogy of paraphrasing what you were just talking about. I think that, to me, that says that Shedeur has a lot of room to hit ceiling, to hitting his ceiling.
I see that as well. I see why you say that. Yep.
And when it comes to Dillon Gabriel, it feels like
he needs more time.
He needs a lot more time because it takes time. It takes a lot more time to be able to get that accuracy down as well as timing. So I'm gonna end on that right there.
Yeah, so let me pick you back on that before I let the next person go. So what Tim is saying, it's just like, okay, you will have a decent starter what nobody will have any issues with if you take Dillon Gabriel's highs, take Shedeur's highs, and marry them together. Now you have a quarterback that you feel confident in, and you can put him out there. That's what I'm starting to gather. So at first, I may have looked at it and determined that, oh wow, are they saying that Shedeur's dumb? No, he's not dumb. When you hear them talk about it, the former players say, look, a lot of young players that come in, they're used to college, but they're not used to the NFL and so many different nuances and all of the colors and everything that you have to remember. They may struggle with that part of it. So instead of us looking at it like, oh, this is an impediment, we can look at it as if we can just look at it like Dillon needs to get better with accuracy. Will he get better? Yes, but not as fast as Shedeur could get better if he can just keep remembering, all right, so red is this. What was red again? Dang, I forgot what red was. This is how I'm looking at it now. Dang, what was blue again? All right, blue is this. All right, once he gets that down, the second part of his game, that's the physical ability, and that's the stuff that you want. You want the guy that's good at the game, but you also want the guy that you don't have to worry about not knowing what's what, if that's making sense. All right, who's next? Let me get Ron Tate in here.
Get Ron Tate in here. Yes, sir. Listen, Mary Kay, please disregard anything that she says about the talent of Shedeur Sanders unless there's corroborating statement, because that's a narrative that is easy to stick on to someone when you're, like someone else had mentioned, that's the one thing that it takes more time for rookies to get used to, because defenses, in the real game, they change. They're fluid, pre-snap of the offense. And you have to be experienced to be able to pick that up. Sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you don't. And that's what the experienced quarterback. So that's easy to stick onto Shedeur. But I want someone else to say that he's having an issue with that other than Mary Kay, because she's had an issue or tried to attack Shedeur with anything negative that she can since he was drafted by the Browns. Now, Shedeur Sanders, he had 6 different offensive coordinators. 6 different offensive coordinators. The intellect, and for him to comprehend information, he has the ability to do that. The only thing that comes next is, his ability to comprehend and his ability to put that comprehension into action.
All right, let me push back real quick. There's a difference between the ability and you doing it. The ability is the opportunity for you to learn. If you couldn't learn, they will get rid of you. If you didn't have the ability to do it, they will get rid of you because then it's too bad. I was in training with this one guy, right? And he started, he's one of those guys that he's a fast talking type of dude. The only time you will hear me fast talking is on this show. For me, in my other life, I'm subtle. I'm calculated, and I move in a certain way. So I sat back and I'm watching this guy as he's talking. In grad school, it was the same thing. There was this one girl. It seemed like she had all the answers, and she would blah 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 blah. But then when it came to actual presentation, everybody was smoking her. This one dude, same thing. He ended up having to leave, and he couldn't do it. But I was advancing faster than everybody else because I was subtle and I was paying attention. While he seemed to be the one that everybody preferred, I'm just sitting back like, okay, all right. And then at the end, it was a secret. This lady told somebody, she was like, dang, I wish I had chosen Harry instead of this guy because he didn't go forward. He was fired. And they took me forward because I went faster than the other people. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not about you not having the ability. If you got the ability, that's why they keep you around. They want to know that you can do it. So while Shedeur may not be the one that jumps out and he's studying and he's learning. He's getting comfortable. I said his confidence is growing. You can tell, and people came for me. I think sometimes it's harder for us because we like Shedeur and we want everything to work. But some things that they're trying to work on, we may not want that to be the thing that they're working on. We may not want that. I'm not saying Mary Kay has all the answers or she knows everything. I'm just saying that may be the thing that we are not willing to accept about his game.
No, Harry, I don't think it's us not willing to accept it. It's the fact how she tries to magnify it. This is something that is normal for every rookie quarterback that comes into the NFL. And some second and third year quarterbacks, it takes a little longer for them to get the hang of processing information, that things that the defense is doing pre-snap.
Well, how do you perceive she delivered? Like, I want to know because she has a big microphone, right?
Yeah.
She has a megaphone because she is the main person with the Cleveland Browns. So how do you think her saying that Shedeur needs to work on X, Y, and Z, how do you think she would deliver it without it sounding like she's hating?
Well, my thing is this. She has no credibility with me because of what the things that she has said about Dylan Gabriel and the things she has said about Shedeur Sanders since both of them have been drafted. She has no credibility with me. She was not credible when she was delivering the information to the public. That's just my opinion. That's how I see her as a member of the media in Cleveland. That's me. It's normal. They keep saying this, but that is a normal situation for rookie quarterbacks. That's normal that they have to go through that. They have to massage that. Now, how do they cover that up? The play calling. They give the quarterback an out.
Hold on. Are you saying that she shouldn't have said anything, or are you saying she should have reported Dylan's bad sides as well?
I'm saying when she says that Dylan Gabriel is being at his pre-snap read ability is better than Shedeur is unfair to say that.
Why is that unfair?
It's unfair because you did not see it.
So then it should also be unfair when you say Shedeur's accuracy is better than Shedeur.
This is my reason why they say it's unfair, because when I've seen video of Shedeur and I've seen video of Dylan Gabriel, I'm not following your narrative. I'm following what my eyes see. If he's processing the information, he wouldn't be throwing the interception. If he's processing the information, he would be able to get the ball away on time better than Shedeur.
No, I think you're missing it. Let me tell you how you're missing it. Pre-snap and reads and all of those things, the way that the team wants you to do it, it's different from what you see. Because if you don't know the pre-snap information, you can disguise it with your ability, your physical football ability. What you see is the physical football ability. When they're done and they go to the film room, they have to correct certain things. So you would never see that. All you see is he threw the ball to someone and that person happened to catch it. But if the coaching staff is like, you know that's not the right person, right? You know that you made the wrong read, right? You know that you did X, Y, and Z. We're not seeing that. The only thing you're going to see is his decision. That's why I say we got to be very careful because, number one, the conversations that they're having about they're having in the quarterback's room is different from what we get to see because that is his final decision. Final decisions are not pre-snap. Doesn't mean that was the correct read. I'm just trying to make it make sense now in my head.
Harry, I agree with you 100%, Harry. But what I'm saying is we're making an assumption when everything that you said was an assumption because we're not in the film room with the quarterbacks and the coaches. We're not in there.
Well, she's an insider, so just take it for what it is. She's an
not
insider, so somebody's gonna be telling her something. This ain't like her football acumen. She's not talking about her football acumen because she's not on the coaching staff. So she's getting information from someone. Somebody is telling her this is the reason. Like when they have meetings and stuff, somebody has to be telling her we're slow walking it because of X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm just giving you the general information. You can go back and you can write it how you want to write it, but you cannot give no names. This is how the media works. You can't give no names, but we're going to meet at the bodega on in Flatbush and at the dawn of night because I don't want you to be seen with me. I'll give you some general stuff. You go write it how you write it.
Can I just say this though, here, and then I'm
ahead.
gonna jump off because I know you gotta go. Here's the thing, folks. I'm telling you, be careful of people that tell you everything you want to hear. Be careful with people because that can be poison to your ears. You're gonna have to be able to take a look. I'm not sticking up for Mary Kay at all. If you don't want to listen to her, she's ruined credibility. That's fine. I'm just sitting here saying is that you might not like when people say things that aren't flattery or complimentary or they're wrong, but beware of folks that always tell you what you want to hear because that is dangerous as all get out. The reality is that you don't want people to tell you comfortable lies. You want people just to tell you the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. And I see something, and I'm gonna jump off the panel and appreciate everybody, and I'm gonna get in the chat. But that's what I see a lot in this thing is that for certain players, and it's not just dealing with Shedeur or Colorado or Browns. It's on everything from politics, military, law, all that stuff. I'm just saying, be careful of people who tell you everything you want to hear, because there's a lie in there.
Well,
Y'all have,
let me say this, DC, before you go, that I understand what you're saying, but that has nothing to do with my point of wondering where she's talking about. Her information is valid, but how she massages it to make it, she magnifies it when it's something normal for all rookie quarterbacks.
I get what you're saying, but you ever been into a restaurant that looked like it was a hole in the wall and the food was good?
I sure have.
That ain't Mary Kay though, DC. All right, man. Go ahead, log off.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna log
that ain't
off.
Mary Kay, dog.
That's all right then, y'all. You know what? I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna step out the Mary Kay bashing. Yeah, I'm gonna sit in the comment. Hey, y'all have a good one.
No, this is not I'm sitting here trying to defend it because I want to be able to understand and be able to report it correctly. Because
can I just say, but I'm just gonna be honest with you, JR. I get what you're saying. I'll stand for a minute. What I'm noticing though is that a lot of those that love the community, and I get that, you don't want to hear nothing that's not complimentary or flattering. And if you do it, you have to put so much sugar on it that we can't even just say talk football. Like that's the frustration. So you've got a whole media that's trying to tiptoe around you. Some of them gonna be just like I am. It's that you just gonna have to accept it what it is. But there is an element within the community that does not want to hear anything negative. They only want to hear positive.
Absolutely.
And that's incomplete.
Now, if you don't want to hear anything negative, yeah, that's an issue because life is about balance. But what I'll say to that is, DC, if you tell a lie long enough, you'll start to believe your own lie, right? So if you tell it
Yes.
long enough, you'll start to believe it. They said Lamar Jackson could never play quarterback in the NFL. The man won 2 MVPs. So
He
if you
did.
tell a lie long enough, if they would have told that lie long enough, Lamar Jackson, we would have never been able to see Lamar Jackson in the NFL.
But
We
that,
would
to
have
be
just
fair, hey, JR,
remembered
to
him
be
as a
fair,
collegiate player.
was it Mary Kay that told that lie?
Whoever.
Because we got to
So
put stuff into context because remember the NFL's history is that they said that black men or black people, well, the U.S. history, we're 13%
exactly
human, right?
Exactly.
The NFL, they preferred the white players because they said that their brains were much bigger than black guys that were just physically what's the name? But I want to be careful with this Mary Kay situation because the way that I'm reading it now is what part of the game is each quarterback working on? If we were to just take the name off the jersey and we were just to ask the coaching staff and we say, hey, what is what are you working on for each person? If they said, Shedeur, we just need to make sure that he gets these long laundry list of things, and we just need to make sure that he understands that blue means this, red means that. That's what he's working on. Dylan, he's too short, and he can do those things that we're asking, but when he's done with that, he can't get the ball the way we need him to get it to, right? So this is how I feel. If we got that information about each person, for the Shedeur fans like myself, initially, if somebody was to come out and just give us that information, if they were to say that Shedeur can read the defense, he can read the offense, he can read the plays and that he knows everything, but physically he's not able to do it. I feel like what we're levying on Dylan right now, we would still get mad about that for Shedeur. If somebody was to say that physically Shedeur is not really doing what he's supposed to do, we would get mad at that. So is there anything that
I don't think so.
to accept?
If you see that, and one other point through my experience, when my brother was going to be drafted by the Detroit Lions, prior to the draft, they met with him with the playbook, and they began going over the playbook maybe a week or two before the draft. So he began to get familiar with that offense prior to being drafted. So that happens. And I would suspect that Dylan Gabriel and all those other first, second, and third rounders were privy to that situation also.
Right, but if you think about what you're saying is that kind of backs up when they said they weren't even planning on picking up Shedeur to Saturday. So that would not have happened, which would have by default, which is what I thought all the time. They knew they wanted Dylan. They didn't think that Shedeur was going to be on the table or even thinking about taking the QB. That's why Dylan looks the way he does. That's the point I'm saying. It's not that Shedeur is bad or none of that kind of stuff. And man, I'm just gonna say it's folks saying stuff that you taking these things, not on this panel, taking things way out of bounds with like Uncle Tom's and all this kind of stuff. Because I can sit here and tell you, don't think as a pilot, that's already very few black pilots that I don't think never dealt with the thing and they saying you're not smart enough, especially if you find an aircraft that has missiles and bombs and stuff like that. So I know exactly what it is, but what I'm saying is that whatever the assumption of you is, you still got to go in there and put the work in. And I'm gonna tell you, it was a lot of work to do that. But at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. But I just think, I'm not gonna get into the Mary Kay thing. I just think it's that as we develop in this community, is to be able to have the comparison and contrast. Because I'm like, well, if you don't listen to Mary Kay, who do you listen to tell you that when this person says something that is absolutely accurate?
Well,
because it seems to me like we only listen to the things that tell you, like if you sit back and say, hey, Shadeur's not very good on his pre-snap read, or there may be something on the playbook. I've been saying that all in the comments. Hater, 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 hater.
Okay,
now
but
you see that.
How do we know that? What do we have to back that up? And how do we know that Dylan is doing a good job? Or how do we know that Shedeur is doing a bad job? I just don't trust that media person. I'm talking about right now. I'm looking at what I see. I'm looking at what I see from Dylan Gabriel, and I'm looking at what I see from Shedeur Sanders.
Don't trust your eyes.
I mean that's a Trump statement. Don't listen to me.
Right. Let me break that down though. Don't trust your eyes. Don't trust your eyes because right now they are trying to see what works for the team. So if you're only trusting your eyes right now, your eyes can deceive you because you are seeing what you want to see. It's going to be hard to take this one, but right now we cannot trust our eyes. We got to be very careful. I'm still posting all of the Shedeur passes. I'm still posting all of the Shedeur, all of the good things he does. But the one thing that I want people to understand is that if they're coming out and they're saying Shedeur's good, Shedeur's bad, Shedeur's bad, Shedeur's bad, Dylan's good, Dylan's good, it's obvious that we're seeing something opposite. But what are the nuances in this?
What I'll say to that, Harry, it's crazy for you to say not to trust your eyes. That's crazy because
don't trust your eyes, but I'm saying when it comes to what is being said in the media and what you're seeing, you got to be able to, you can't trust your eyes on what the media is seeing because the media is seeing something different. Mary Kay is seeing something different than we are seeing, but we are seeing what she described in her article. The first let me finish. The first part of her article is describing what we see.
Got you.
The part of the article that says he is great at the read. He is great at passing. He is great at finding his reads. I mean, finding his receivers.
And you know why she says that? It's because we
see it.
Exactly.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. We're arguing about the part that we don't see. But that's if you want confirmation bias is about you trying to hear what you want to hear. But I'm saying if she's telling you the things that you are seeing, those are the good things. But here are the things that you're not seeing. That's the part we got to trust her on because we don't know, they know.
Let me ask you this question, Harry.
Go ahead.
So
I'm not saying I'm right now. I'm talking.
No.
I just want to let y'all know.
I'm not saying I'm right about this. It's all opinion based. But what I look at is that so Mary Kay wrote that everything that we can see, but she's saying, okay, but the things that you don't see. All right. So the things that we don't see. So why don't the Cleveland Browns post Dylan Gabriel when he having incomplete passes? Why don't they post that? Because they don't want you to see that. So an organization can create a narrative around whatever they want. Because if they were going to be open and transparent about everything, they would post the clips of the incomplete passes on their social media and be like, wow, he had a terrible day. 3 for 14. These are all the incomplete passes that occurred. But they don't do that. They'll say 3 for 14, and then they'll show the 3 passes that he made. So the narrative is still, you're looking at it 3 for 4. Oh, he went 3 for 14, but I'm looking at their social media, and you showed all the 3 passes he completed. But wait, I just read. So where the rest of the passes at? We're not showing you the rest of the pass. We don't want you to know how bad they were or anything like that. Until reports later come out, they were thrown in dirt, they sailed, he overthrew, whatever the case may be. So an organization will definitely spin, right? We talked about spin when it came to politics. Organizations definitely spin whatever they want to spin.
All right, so let me say this.
I could easily spin this, and I could say, all right, so Mary Kay saying he having a hard time with processing things. Maybe this credible information that she getting from inside.
That's not credible. That's the old adage.
All right.
Black
but hold on one second. I'm gonna land the plane right here. Credible information that she getting from the inside. All right, so and able to process information. Are you processing information on 7-on-7s when there's no pass rush or anything like that? because all accounts, Shedeur was getting the least amount of reps when it came to 11 on 11. So how can you get better at processing pre-snap stuff if there's nothing for you to pre-snap against? There's no movement back there. There's nothing going on. You're doing 7-on-7 routes and you throwing against maybe 4 defensive backs. So you see how the narrative can be persuaded or changed to say, well, he's having a hard time like processing these things, and that's what we're seeing. Because before it was he was having a hard time picking up the playbook or things like. So the narrative is going to be spin. However, somebody in the organization puts it out because it's what the organization values. She could be talking to Kevin Stefanski, and Kevin Stefanski may be the one like, look, I value playbook over repetitions. I need you to know the playbook. I need you to know this. I need you to know that. But again, they said the same thing about Lamar Jackson.
So look, I don't think what's going on with Shedeur is the same thing about what's going on. It's the same thing that's going on with Shedeur. Because on one hand, you got to understand that the media is different from the organization. They can have a different agenda from the media person. So let me break this down so you understand. The media may have privilege, but keep in mind the media can also talk dirty about the organization. The media is there to put out the information, but they are not making the decisions for the organization. So whatever you're saying that you're seeing from the organization from their website, it could be totally different from what the media does. The media has access to the organization, but they are an independent organization that is operating with some type of grace from the organization. But that doesn't mean that they're in lockstep in whatever. They are not the in-house media person for the organization. They just happen to be the person that is actually the beat writer for that team.
Harry, let me say this. In a perfect world, everything you say will be 100% correct, but that's not the way it is. We're not living in a perfect world.
Of course.
We're not. I'm just voicing my opinion once again, and this is my second point on my opinion, is that they're saying the age-old adage. They're just saying it a different way. He's not intellectually able to comprehend.
No,
he's not intellectually. Yes, of course. Listen to what they're saying. He's not intellectually able to comprehend the information. However, this light-skinned guy, he's able to intellectually comprehend the
that's not it. Hey, Ronte, that's not
what
it.
We're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about right now.
That's not it. I want you to understand. I want you to understand something. There's a difference if they were to ask Shedeur if he wanted to play tight end. Then if you're telling me that Shedeur, these are the set of things that he needs to work on, and then we'll be good. You got to keep in mind that every single quarterback that comes into the league is going to have something to work on. If we agree to that point, we can move the conversation forward. The things that Shedeur is working on is just happen to be pre-snap. Pre-snap happens to be the thing that black people has been levied against black people. So those two things are happening at the same time. So it feels a little weird. Now, the Mary Kay article, the reason why I went after Mary Kay the first time when I was introduced to her is because she was saying stuff out of pocket. She said stuff like, Shedeur only had one. I know she probably didn't have the information at the time, and she was caught off guard. But I mentioned that in my video. She said stuff like Shedeur only had one OC, Pat Shermer, while Dylan Gabriel had like 6, and so now he's able to process and da. I'm only counting. I'm giving her grace and counting that against her for not just having the information. But now that I'm starting to look through my journal, my journalist, the little bit of journalism that I learned, I'm starting to look at it. I'm starting to see patterns of her writing. She's not saying anything different. She's repeating it in different ways. She said the very same thing. She's just repeating it in different ways. Shedeur is working on. Shedeur is working on. Shedeur is working on. We should be happy that he has work. I'm telling you,
yes,
we should be happy that he has work.
I agree with that. What she says, again, in my book, holds no credibility. I don't know. I'll listen to the guy that said what he said about the quarterback situation and other pundits, but because of her information, the way she has put it out, she's biased and she's unfair. And there were situations like Shedeur only having one offensive coordinator, which was wrong. He had 2 in 1 year. So
right, I believe that was a genuine mistake.
No, that was not a mistake.
I came for her for that.
No, Harry, stop trying to help her out. You can't.
I'm not trying to help her out. I'm trying to let you know that doing this live thing or doing this media thing is not a perfect science, and you're gonna make mistakes. But when you make mistakes, I don't know if she's come out and says my bad.
No, not when the facts. Not when the facts is you know a Google or a Chat GPT away. You know how many offensive coordinators has Shedeur Sanders had played under during his college career? Boom, that information will pop right up.
Okay, so if we give her that, let's put 2 corners up. One corner she lied about something, and the other corner she's being deceitful, right? Or she's being deceitful and she's against Shedeur. The thing, okay, she got one lie on this hand, and the other thing she's been consistent about. So if I give her the lie, then we move on to we move the conversation down the line. What is she lying about specifically? Because she's not the coaching staff. The things that she's saying, somebody is giving her.
No, I disagree, Harry.
You don't think somebody's giving her the information that she's getting?
Do I think that someone is giving her the information that Shedeur cannot comprehend and Dylan Gabriel?
No, you're mischaracterizing what is being said. That's why I'm saying you got to be careful with that. There's a difference between somebody not being able to comprehend versus somebody's working on something. You're trying to frame it for the Chitlin circus. That's right there is Roland Martin. What you're doing is Roland Martin.
No, she's saying that. She's saying that.
Nobody. I have not heard one person say that he is incapable of comprehending. That is the Chitlin circus talking points. That's when if you want to rev up black people, if you want to rev up black people, you say stuff like that. Nobody has said that he's incapable of comprehending.
Harry, listen, if Dylan Gabriel is able to comprehend the information that we're talking about, information A, B person, C person.
Who said about comprehend?
B person comprehending or being a pre-snap read. Okay, we'll say pre-snap.
But who said anything about comprehending? Who said that?
Okay, listen. I'm talking about in order to do the pre-snap read, you have to be able to comprehend what the defense is doing.
That's not the same thing.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Hey, can I help y'all out a little bit?
It's not the same thing. For you to say that somebody is unable or incapable of comprehending, you are talking about their intelligence. They're not intelligent enough to comprehend something. Then that's the difference. Nobody has said that in the media. They've said what he's working on, which we are trying to rev up the Chitlin circus and try to get them going by saying, "Oh, Shedeur's stupid." You're trying to say he's stupid.
No, no one has said that.
Let me let Tim get in here real quick. Maybe he got something to add to move us along.
Yeah, both of y'all are right at the same time.
We can't both be right.
Yes, y'all both are right.
I haven't heard one person say that he is incapable of comprehending.
Hold on 1 second. Every college athlete coming into the pros have strengths and weaknesses.
Correct.
Okay, he's drafted by the Cleveland Browns. 5th round, Gabriel. 3rd round. I understand where Ron is coming from. Ron point is saying Mary Kay has the flaws. Well, first of all, before I get to that, Mary Kay being an insider for as long as she's been there, she has inside information, whether it's directly from the GM or directly from a head coach. She's getting information that we're not content creators or any fans are getting directly.
Right.
That's a fact. So she's able to collaborate or spin that whatever information she getting directly from the source.
And write it the way she wants to.
And write it the way that she wants to. But here's the what Ron is trying to and I feel the same way to a certain degree. She's magnifying Shedeur's flaws a lot harder than she's magnifying Dylan Gabriel's flaws. If you're going to make it an even playing field, then make it an even playing field. But here's the thing. You have opened my eyes as well, Harry, to, okay, you know what? Let me give her a little grace. Because Tony, what's the other dude? Tony, he's another writer for Cleveland Browns. He's not nowhere near, he's not giving Shedeur Sanders grace at all. He's solely sold on Dylan Gabriel. Okay. But here's another thing. If you go us on the panel, which all of us probably didn't already heard and understand, but to the chat, go over to Shannon Sharp's Shay Shay's Club and listen at him and Ocho. Because Ocho Cinco.
That's Nightcap.
Nightcap. Chad Johnson breaks down how difficult it is for a quarterback, a rookie quarterback, to obtain all the lingo that the NFL throws at them. It's
a lot.
Chad said it's a lot. It was a lot for him. He just imagined how much it is for a rookie quarterback. And it could be true. Shedeur may not be comprehending as fast as
No. It's not comprehending, because when you use the word comprehending, what that does is it throws it into another category, and it challenges whether he's capable of doing it.
Hey, hold on.
It's not about comprehending. He just needs to just memorize.
Harry, I'm gonna stop you. I got an education degree. Okay. Comprehension is real. Everybody do not comprehend the same. So
I get it.
I don't care how people try to twist and turn the word comprehension. You can't, because everybody learns differently.
Right.
So he may not comprehend, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dylan Gabriel may comprehend it a little bit faster than Shedeur. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And that's all I'm saying.
So basically, comprehension, we're using it in the context of picking it up faster. That's it.
That's it.
Right. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear, because when you say he's incapable of comprehending, that colors it differently. Because he's not incapable of comprehending. He's just comprehending is slower than Dylan Gabriel.
Correct.
But if you look at Shedeur, on the physical aspect of it, the accuracy, the things that he's doing, that part of it, we take that part of Shedeur, and that's the part we're seeing. So that's what I'm saying. We got to be careful how we're shaping this, because if they're saying that's what he's working on, that's where we all as a fan base need to say, okay, he's working on that. Now, can we all agree and say, hey, Mary Kay, you need to tone it down? The way that you're trying to present this thing is as if he's incapable. Then that would be a difference.
Others have said that before about her. Others have said that. Other pundits.
Oh, hey, Ronte, this is what I will agree with you on, because I'm so familiar with the media and how they do things. When it comes to white players, they use words that will color things a little differently for black players than they do white players. That I will agree with you on.
Well, that's
now, the context of the information she's given could be accurate, but the way that she's doing it, it could be playing to that whole thing where they use different words and they use different ways of coloring things up and trying to make it seem more detrimental for the black player, and just make it seem like, oh, he's Dylan Gabriel just learning. He just needs to learn, while Shedeur is incapable. That could be where you and I will agree. But is the information, is it like bad if that's what he's working on? No, because like Tim just said, Ocho said, and a lot of players say, dang, bro, that Jimmy Horn said that playbook is a beast. because he's on offense, and the offensive playbook is way bigger than the defensive playbook. So when you have to when you have to remember red, green, blue, and you're the quarterback, when you're the wide receiver, you only have to listen for your stuff. But when you're the quarterback, you got to do everything for everybody that's on that offensive line. The tight ends down to everyone has to be
scheme,
right. You got to know everything for everyone. While the wide receivers or those specific guys are going to tune everything else out and just listen for their color, the quarterback has to do all of that. That's where I'm like, okay, let me slow down a little bit and see where Mary Kay is, where she coming from.
This is my third point, Harry. I do not believe that Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are on a different level when it comes to figuring out what to do pre-snap.
You say you don't believe that?
I do not believe I don't believe Dylan Gabriel is smarter than Shedeur Sanders.
See, you just changed it.
No, I didn't change it.
Yes, you did. You just changed it. The first thing you said, you don't believe that they're on different levels. And then you said the second part, you said you don't believe that Dylan Gabriel is smarter. Tim would tell you that the different levels of comprehension doesn't mean that you're not smart.
Listen, I'm making my point on what is being said in the media. I think Shedeur can comprehend. I think Shedeur understands. I think Shedeur can pre-snap read as well as Dylan Gabriel. I don't think there's a difference like he has reported. I don't believe that. That's another thing. That's on me. That's my belief. I don't think there's a difference as they have reported. I think that is something that is not true.
Do you think there's a difference in play?
A difference in play? Look at the numbers on that. I don't even have
that's it. So you know that you can see that there's a difference in play.
Yes.
Because that's what they're showing you. The part that they're not showing you.
They don't have to show me anything. Just look at the numbers. That's proof.
But you can tell there's a difference in play because you're seeing it. The coaches have the information, the stats for the processing. So that's the part that they're trying to communicate to us, but it's hard for some of us to take it because maybe the way that they're framing it, they're doing it like that old adage where black people get the grunt of the thing and white players get the benefit of the doubt.
That's the way I see it. I see that Dylan Gabriel's ability in that category is being given a pass. Shedeur Sanders in that category, the things that he needs to work on is being magnified. That's my point. And I don't believe there's a separation between the two. I don't. I think it's being reported as a separation, but I don't believe there is a separation between the two. I also believe that there's been more work put in the evening with the playbook and so on and so forth with Dylan Gabriel, because that's what's done with first, second, and third rounders. That's just what's done. That's part of it.
Can I ask Ron a question?
Go ahead, Tim. Ask Ron a question.
Ron, if you was in coaching, right?
Yes.
Okay. If your quarterback's coach, say for instance, you have a junior, but you got this sophomore that transferred from another school, and he's talented and you like him a lot, but if your QB coach come back and tell you, hey, he just not picking up on the playbook as fast, as much as you like this kid, you like his arm strength, you like everything about him, are you going to trust your quarterback's coach? Or are you just going to say, no, I'm still going with this kid because I like him that much?
Well, I'm going to have to rely on the coach.
Okay,
I'm going to have to rely on that coach and what I see.
Hey, y'all keep talking. I'll be right back. Okay.
Right. So you're relying on that.
If I don't see the information that he is providing for me, then I'm gonna call him in and question his evaluation.
Right. But if you're gonna trust your quarterbacks coach and trust his process and his ability, and I don't want to sit here and think like and say like, I agree with everything Mary Kay, because I don't. I really don't care too much for her. But if she's a inside source,
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can't debunk it because we're not actually in there.
Well, my
But
thing, maybe I should have started off with, listen, I'm to the point with Mary Kay. I don't care if she is 100% correct about everything she's reporting. I do not like what she says or how she says it. I think that she's biased. I don't trust her. So if it's 100% correct coming from her, I would not believe it. That's just my bias towards her.
and you know what, Ron? That's my bias towards her too. But when DC and Harry started talking about some other points, I'm the type of person I really like, getting different points of views, because there if I just stick to one source, I can possibly miss something. You know what I
Right.
mean? No different
Yes.
than a relationship
Yes.
with your wife, girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to classify as. That sometimes they'll see things that we don't see, and then we'll turn around and say, you know what, babe, you were right. If I would have just kind of just like got out of my own head and really took what you said into consideration, it would have worked out. I wouldn't have had to go the long road. I could have took the short road. So
Wait, Tim, did I win you already? I thought it was going to take a couple of shows.
No, I said Mary Kay is going to have to win me back over because I don't really trust her. I really don't like her. I agree with a lot of things that Ron is saying, but
Mhm.
when you and DC was talking, I was like, you know what? Mary Kay is inside the organization.
Right.
She's getting her information directly from the source. So let me take a step back and
I can respect that.
and take that into consideration, because for one thing for sure, two things for certain, this preseason is going to determine everything, because those NFL analysts that we watch, they're going to break it all down for us.
They will. They will.
And Harry,
But keep in mind also what I said, that what we see on the TV, it doesn't mean that he's there, because we're going to be seeing what she said already. She said he's good. Mary Kay is saying that Shedeur is good. Once there's three things that happen when you're playing. After the huddle, right? I mean, you get the huddle, right? You gotta do whatever's in the huddle. That's what he's working on. And then you gotta like come to the line and do your pre-snap. Like the huddle and all of that, that's the pre-snap, right? And then there's after the snap. And then there's post-snap. Shedeur is good at 2. He's good at after snap, post-snap. He's working on pre-snap.
Harry,
we gotta identify where pre-snap is so people can understand he's working on that. Now, hold on, Ron. I'm going to help this conversation move forward. How she presents it, she could have a white media bias. I'm not going to defend her white media bias, because the white media bias, they tend to pin black folks or what black people are working on in a different light than they paint on white people are working on. Because we know about the boys are just being boys from the Olympics from some time ago. When black kids do something wrong, we get a different thing from the media, from the white media, than we do when the white people do something wrong. I'm just saying, that's not what I'm defending. She could have that white bias from the media because I understand the media. I studied it. I'm not defending that. I'm defending the hardcore information, which is he's working on pre-snap. If we can just hone in on that, we can move this conversation forward, because you could be talking about the white media bias and I could be talking about just strictly the information he's working on.
Okay, Harry.
That's where we could be both missing it.
Let me clarify some things. Rookie quarterbacks, when they come into the league, unless they're super exceptional, they are going to have to work on pre-snap processing information. All of them. All of them. My issue is not that he needs to work on that.
Okay.
My issue is that her saying Dylan Gabriel does not have to work on it, and Shedeur Sanders has to work on it.
I don't have no issue with that.
The only way I would believe that information, Harry, if you had the information and Mary Kay had the exact same information, and she came running to me on Monday and said, Ron, here's the information, I would not believe her.
Okay.
When you came to me on Tuesday and gave me the information, then I would believe it. That's where I am with Mary Kay.
Okay.
She has
I get
zero credibility with
no pushback on that. No pushback. I know where your credibility, what your lack of credibility in her is coming from. I can meet you there. You're the way that you're hearing her information, it could be heavily due to her white media bias. White people don't know how to report on us. That's why I'm 50-50 on Roland Martin. We need black media. We need people who understand who we are to be out here reporting on us, because white people do a terrible job. Some of them, okay, a lot of them do a terrible job, not all of them, on reporting on black people. So if that's where you're at with it, I can meet you there and I cannot push back on that. But I do understand how the media works. I wanted the information. What was the information? What am I hearing? How can I turn off this white media bias and hear what they're saying? Once I was able to do that and dial in, then I said, okay, I know you're being biased, because boys will be boys when they're white, and black boys are always guilty. So you can do that. But what is the information that I need to know? Shedeur is working on pre-snap. I'm good. I'm locked in. Okay, let me give him grace. Let him work on that. Once he gets that, which could be faster than, can he get the ball where it needs to get to? Can he do all the physical things that I know that black athletes are usually used to doing? He can do all of that. Boom. I'm with that. We can move on. Is there any pushback on what I just said?
Nah, I mean, look,
None whatsoever.
I don't have any pushback. I would just say, as far as like journalism and things like that, Harry, you know how it goes.
Yep.
A lot of things can be excluded or left out to
That is
paint
true.
a narrative a certain way, right?
Yep.
So when the information comes out to say Dylan Gabriel is miles ahead when it's in the playbook and pre-snap reads,
Yeah.
then what does that allude to the other quarterback? Because you can say Dylan Gabriel miles ahead in this, but then you never clarify where the other quarterback is to say the other quarterback's on task. So on task is you're not behind. But if you don't say that, then what does that leave you to believe? Somebody else is miles ahead, so everybody should be at the same point, right? That goes back to what Ty Smith said about comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you on task, then you right where you need to be. And that was a question that I asked about a month ago on the show with you. I was just like, when we were talking about this, kind of like Mary Kay came out with this article saying Dylan Gabriel, miles ahead, shoulders above, you know, blah, 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 however she
That's white media bias.
Yeah, however she wrote it. But then my question was, okay, so is she saying Shedeur's behind, or is she saying he's on task? Well, she didn't say nothing.
Right.
She just left it open to everybody's interpretation. So Ron,
I don't think they know that though. JR, I'm telling you, I don't think white people know. Either they know and they have an agenda and they're trying to derail us. If they're doing that on purpose, I can't. I'm not in their head. I don't really know that. But I just feel like generally they don't really understand.
They don't.
That they do that.
They don't understand.
I don't think they do.
I think they do understand because we see it.
You think it's intentional?
Yeah, bruh.
It's very intentional,
you
Harry.
Watch the news,
think
Harry.
So? But all of them that do it, you think all of them are being intentional, or they just have that general natural bias to when they write stuff about us, they tend to elaborate or embellish it than when they do it for white people. That's intentional, you think?
Hey, let me tell you something. They'll use every single thing that they can possibly do to suppress, bro. From a black man living in this country all my life, they'll use everything at their disposal to suppress. And I'm gonna keep it 100.
Go ahead, JR. Let me finish your thought. You were saying something.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we look at media bias and a lot of things, you can look at it from a criminal aspect, from a political aspect, from an educational aspect. There's media bias when it comes to everything.
Right.
So you're gonna have voices like you said in echo chambers that elevate, paint a better picture, or detract and make something look worse.
Yes.
So when I look at the Mary Kay article, okay, we're talking about all the quarterbacks, and she made sure she highlighted this specific fact on Dylan Gabriel to say he's miles ahead, and in the playbook. But you don't even speak to the other quarterback. But the article is about the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks. So what? Now that, like I said, as a consumer, now you're like, okay, so all right, well, what about Shedeur? Right. You could have just said, hey, he's on task. He's on
something that she could have said was how Shedeur is miles ahead of him on accuracy and ball placement. She could have, if she would have said that, that could have killed some of her bias.
She could have easily said that, but like I said, again, media bias is all right. Well, I'm talking to the inside. I'm talking to the QB coach, or I'm talking to a handler for the team, and this is the point of view of the handler. All right, well, let me put that out there.
The bias also comes with who your audience and who you're writing for as well. Because if you take Officer Tatum, right? If you take him, and anytime that he reports on something, because of his audience, and I do understand where he comes from sometimes, because once you start to pander to a certain audience, then you got to be very careful, because your money and your bread and butter comes from making sure that they're reading it the way that you're writing it the way that you want them to read it, right? Because if I didn't take myself out of the pandering to the Coach Brown crowd and I said, no, I'm not doing that no more, then everything that I say, I wouldn't have no pushback on anything Shedeur. I would just be like, oh, Shedeur is great all the way. Like, I still do that, but I reserve my right to be able to say, oh, okay, if somebody is saying something, let's evaluate it and let's look at it and see if they're right or if they're wrong. But I do understand media bias, like you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how I look at it. Because I'm like, all right, we're talking about all the quarterbacks, but you highlight this specific thing,
right?
And there's nothing left for any other quarterback in the article. Specifically the rookies, because she was writing the article about the rookie QBs.
Which is just two.
Yeah, which is just two. So if you're saying that about one QB, but you don't mention anything about the other QB, then the article is just about Dylan Gabriel. It's not about Cleveland Brown rookie QBs. It's about Dylan Gabriel. So the article can't be titled Cleveland Browns rookie quarterbacks. That's plural. But then you highlight one thing about one quarterback, and that's the end of the article.
You say everything negative.
That's good, JR.
You say everything negative without even saying it.
And you say everything, all the positive attributes for Dylan Gabriel, but then say everything that Shedeur is working on, which then comes across as you attacking Shedeur and highlighting Dylan Gabriel. That part I cannot defend.
Exactly.
But a lot of people.
And that's what Ron was saying.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I say I meet Ron, and I don't have no more pushback for Ron. I can meet Ron where he's at. That's the thing, Tim. You being able to have grace and open up your heart, I give you credit for that. And a lot of you guys on this panel, y'all are able to at least suspend your disbelief or suspend whatever things you have, your biases and your prejudices, to be able to say, okay, let me hear it from somebody else. That's the thing that I want this show to be. I want the channel to have. I don't want it to just be an echo chamber of, let me agree with everything that everybody's saying over here. Let me disagree with this person. Then it creates that divide. That's why I don't like divides. Whether it's white or black, I'm going to address you directly for whatever it is that I need to address you with. That's how I live my life. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. And it doesn't matter what color you are. Because I know specifically, because I work in the media, I have done so many films. You can look on IMDb and look at my name. I've done so many films. I've worked on so many TV stuff behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. So I know what's going on out there. Black people don't get a good, they don't get a good share of what goes on in the media. Every time they write something or to do something for black people, it's always, if it's bad, it's going to be really worse. If white people do something, they try to make it seem like, it wasn't as bad as it should have been. And I'm always going to use this example. When the swimmers in the Olympics, they went out and they did something, and they came back and we finally got the news. Oh, it was boys being boys.
Yeah. That's what I said.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
I cannot stand on business with that. But as far as what Shedeur is working on, if we are able to get rid of the bias for a second, Shedeur is working on the red, the blue, the purple, the this, the that. Just like Ocho said, he's working on this. So don't be mad at it. If that's what he's working on, then let him work on that. It's natural. He's supposed to work on that. And but finally, if everybody's working on something, then what is the reason why first team reps are being kept away? Because that's not a good enough reason to keep first team reps away from him. If anything, you would give him more because he needs to get that, right?
That's why I said it goes back to money. Like the value of how they perceive a player on a team, it just speaks volume. And the NFL is a professional-based league.
Right.
Only thing that's going to change that outcome is performance on the field. Performance in practice,
but
keep doing it.
Not for the Cleveland Browns, obviously, right?
I think
because if it was about performance, then you would put both guys on the field and let them battle it out.
I think this is just my thought, is that the Browns obviously value Dylan Gabriel higher than they do Shedeur.
That's the fact.
That is
well, at least they're showing. At least from how they've been handling things, that's how they're showing us.
They value him higher. So the only thing that can change that outcome is the product on the field, not in training camp, because in training camp you are outperforming this person in training camp, but yet you don't see any change. So you gotta outperform this person in preseason. But unfortunately, you don't even get to do it during this preseason game because he's not playing. So the value for Dylan Gabriel stays the same. Only thing Shedeur can do is change the thought process or attempt to change the thought process of the coaching staff that doesn't value him the same as they do.
Bro, he got to go lights out. Shedeur, I think I heard one analyst say Shedeur has to play lights out. He has zero room for error.
Zero.
He got to play lights out. If you play lights out, you're not only showing the public that this thing here you can do, but whatever the crazy reasons y'all got behind the scenes, and y'all gonna have to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And just start preparing him the way you're supposed to prepare him.
You'll have
because we're seeing it. If we keep seeing it, then you ain't gonna have no more excuse because you're not giving us no answer. Y'all telling us, y'all keep leaking this stuff to Mary Kay.
Exactly.
But let me ask y'all a question. What plays? If you're saying somebody is having trouble reading the playbook and like in their pre-snap, what plays do they run for the second and third strings? Are they not the same plays? Do they have different sets of plays?
But, bruh, that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, I've never been an NFL player, but So the off, like you still got to run some form of the offense,
right? The second team, are they not using the same playbook?
Like
Is there a different playbook for second and third team?
Only thing I can say is maybe installs are different.
How?
Maybe
Why would you
that
have
teamers are
install?
getting more of the playbook than the third and fourth. Who knows? But I'm like,
It's the installs, JR. You
Yeah.
hit it the right on the head. It's the install.
Help me understand what you mean by the install. Help me understand. Oh, let me see. But if you have to get to your second string, then you're playing protection ball. Is that how to understand it? You're not necessarily trying to go hard with the first team, but you're using. Am I thinking about this right? If you you do different installs for your second team because you're hoping not to get to them, and by the time you get to them, you got different installs because at this point you're pretty much
Your second strings need to be on the same level as your first string because they can be up at any given time. Even your third strings, but it's just the way that they install it. You know, like
explain that. What do you mean by install? Because if I don't understand, somebody out there don't understand.
Say for instance, one play could have a lot of different motions.
Okay.
Second string need to know that as well. Third strings, they may be implementing it a little bit slower than they would to maybe your first string.
But what changes on the install though? That's what I want to know. Like when you say the install is different, are they changing the colors? What are they changing? What is changing for second and third team?
The plays are the same. They're not changing, but they could be implementing something to the first string 1 week for say for instance on Monday for Sunday's game, right? They can have a couple of plays that's gonna be changed, gonna have different maybe different cadences, maybe different motions. They may not necessarily run that with the third string that week. They may be still trying to take them through that vanilla stage, if that makes sense.
Okay. So I get it in its totality. I understand it, but if that's the case, right? If you're saying it's the same playbook, it's the same plays, and everything's the same, then you keeping Shedeur from that first team doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. I don't know how else to put it. It doesn't make sense because it's the same plays. So then why doesn't he get to go against the fastest guys, the best guys? That's the only thing that I'm seeing. The only difference I'm seeing. There is no difference. The plays are all the same, but you're saying that if I put him against the fast guys, they'll be able to get at him faster because if the offensive line is the first team, then they should be able to block those fast defenders.
Yeah, but is
that not how this goes?
But you do know he went with the second team against the first team defense and went 2 for 3, right?
Yeah, but this is still not explaining why the first team reps are being kept from him. None of this is explaining that because I'm trying to understand, is there something that is different from the play calling for second and third string? You just explained that no, there is no different plays. It's the same plays, just installed differently, like slower. So if that's the case,
the process
the first thing is the first team reps is now it makes that still scratch your head on why they're keeping him away from that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but I don't think Friday it's all on the table.
Yeah, okay. I think that's the conclusion right there. Let's just wait for Friday. After Friday, hey, Shedeur plays well. He ain't gotta be no hero, like we said. Play well, and then you got 2 to 3 shots. I'm gonna put up 3 fingers, Shedeur. If you're listening and you're watching, like you should, right? This is TLP, obviously.
Yeah, I look.
If you're listening, you're watching. Take 2 to 3 shots. All right, just go for it.
That's what I mean. That's what I said, and you said, man, he shouldn't do that. I'm like,
No, I agree with you.
You got to take it, dog.
I said the panel was split because I agree with you.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think he should take at least 2 to 3 shots and do something memorable.
Take a chance, man. Yeah, take a chance, man.
He got you.
The way I remember like installs for me, like just playing like college ball, like it was percentage based as far as like what percent of a play, like how much percentage of a play does a player know? Because you need to know like every, it's 5 positions on the court. So you need to know 100% of the play. But if you only getting 25, 50, 75% of the play, whatever, then it's percentage based. So I can, my assumption is that the NFL is percentage based from an install. Maybe how many plays they doing on a install, So if it's
hold on, let me ask you a question. So you're saying, okay, if we have 5 plays, but you only know 2%, if you only got 3 of them down, then that means we can't do the other 2. Is that what you're saying?
As far as the install, yeah.
So when you said percentage, though, are you saying, all right, we got a playbook full of 100 plays, and this specific quarterback only knows 10 of those plays 100%. So we are only limited to those 10 plays because these are the plays that he knows 100%. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yep. And then there's different variations off of that play, especially in the NFL. Like there's different variations within the play. So you still got to know a percentage of that play. So when
because
that's
the scheme that they have
offense,
to disguise, so the defense doesn't get to, the offensive play doesn't get vanilla, so the defense can predict what they're trying to do.
Exactly. So like I said, the install, that's how I recall install just from a basketball sense. It was like, hey, we got this set play. I know my position on the court. I know my role in the play, but if I'm bumped off or if a defender switch on me or if I have to curl screen, now it puts me in a different spot of that play. And if we're running the same play again, then I'm in a different spot on the court. I need to know what to do on that spot, in that spot while I'm on the court.
Right. So, and you know why I think a lot of people were saying, I personally believe that's what was happening with the Colorado Buffs. I think a lot of those players, because now you got to think about how colleges with all of the NIL and the transfer portal, guys are coming in at different times and they're not 100% on all those plays. So I think a lot of that thing, that's why it's important that you have guys that are coming back because at least those guys are going to know the plays. But you get these new guys and they don't know what's happening. So you get guys going left, and when you're supposed to go right, you get guys going different places. I think that's what caused the Buffs some games because they were not on the same page. A lot of those guys, you're not going to know it, but if you listen keenly, you can tell. Where Shedeur does those interviews, and he was like, "Yeah, we had to adjust a few things because guys were not familiar with the playbook 100%."
Yeah, I mean, look, from a talent aspect, like talent gets on the field or on the court, but you can be a detriment if you are not understanding of the play itself.
Yes,
but to me. When I hear it from Mary Kay to say, well, again, somebody's miles ahead. Well,
that's
is
media
the
bias.
other person on task? That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying that he's on task, then that's cool with the install that he's given, because they're probably going to give more install to the first team, the first rep of players, because those are your starting players. It doesn't mean that Shedeur doesn't know the playbook.
Right.
He may not even be receiving the entire install because he's not working with the first team.
Okay. Now
so you're only going to get sense. Yeah, you're only going to get this is the second team install. It's the same plays, but you're only getting 30%, and we're going to get a first team 50%.
Okay.
So I just need you to focus on this 30%. Well, if he's doing what he's given, 100%, then you on task. But you can't compare him to first team reps because they may be giving first team 50% of the install. Right? We need you to do 50%.
Got it.
We repping 50% of the plays in practice today. So we need you to do it. But Shedeur not even getting an opportunity with the first team. So what are you saying somebody's miles ahead in something if the other person's not getting the opportunity to do it? So.
And also, we got this off the rip. As soon as they were drafted, we got the article. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I said, wait, you didn't even give him a chance to breathe. Like, what?
He wasn't even out there. That's what I'm
he
saying.
wasn't even on the field yet. You already got an article ready to go. Like I came for her for that, but now I'm starting to understand. Okay, if I can just slow it down in my head and say this is what he's working on, as opposed to he's incapable, then I can separate the wording and say, okay, we're good. But yes, you're gonna get. This is final thoughts here. I'm gonna start the final thoughts today. What you hear in the media will be different from what is actually going on. There is white media bias and there is black media bias, or there is how white people report something versus how black people report something. This has nothing to do with being racist or anything like that. It's just how people's biases are there. The white people, they are accustomed to reporting stuff differently when it comes to black people than when it comes to white people. So Mary Kay may be part of that white media bias. I said maybe, that's the operative word. Maybe. I don't know. But it could come across as that. But pay attention to the information and not her white media bias. JR, you go next.
I'll just say, look, Friday will be a tall test, for Shedeur. So go out there, do all the little things right, because that's what football is about. That's what sports is about, period. Do all the little things right. But when you have an opportunity to make a big play, take advantage of it. That's what I got for him.
My man. All right. Ty Smith, go for it, my guy.
I would just say, if you're a fan of a player that's on the team, educate yourself on knowing the ins and outs of the game, so you won't take these people in the media perception of it at face value. But I think Shedeur gonna do good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dylan Gabriel being hurt and not being able to showcase his talent on this game, I feel like it's gonna hurt him. And I don't think so. I think so, because who they have in preseason game 2 and moving forward, which a lot of those ones will be implemented a lot more going forward.
Okay. No pushback on final thoughts. I forgot. I was about to start a whole nother show. All right, cool. I'll let you eat that. Ronte, you still here, brother? Ronte,
yes, I'm right here.
All right, give us your final thoughts so we can get up out of here.
Okay, my final thoughts are, Harry, you're pushing back on me on my bias towards someone. I was not saying that Shedeur didn't lack something, because I believe all rookie quarterbacks lack what we were talking about. And I can't wait for Friday. Once again, Harry B., you're handling all of these individuals who are leaders in their own lives. You're doing a masterful job keeping us on task. And I appreciate that. Let me first say DC and Tim and all the other members of the panel. I got my glasses on, but I can't read your names as I'm looking on my phone here.
We got JR Boxing, Todd Smith, and then you.
Oh, Boxing, how you doing? And Todd Smith is Tim. He gave me permission to call him Tim, Harry B.
He's Tim to me. That Todd stuff is for the internet.
Yeah, I don't know what his girlfriend or his wife or something. I don't know. Hey, listen.
Oh Lord.
Hey, listen. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hey,
No, you good, brother. I'm laughing with you.
Once again, listen, Harry. I need to start. I need to start something here. I got to start a little fire. Once again, when I came on the podcast, DC Hall tails out, and I want him to stop doing
You
that.
don't want the smoke. I'm telling you, man. That Southern boy don't want it.
I look back on things that we did last year, and I promise you, DC, if you stay on the podcast with all of us, I will go easy on you. I will help you understand.
Go get him, Tim. Go get him. Go get him, Ron.
I will help you understand the things that we're talking about and to comprehend the factual information that we are, putting out there. Because sometimes I know you get a little confused, and it could come with age. It could come with, being in that high altitude so much, flying those airplanes. But, I'm here for you this year. I'm going to be easy so that we all can get along on Harry B. Billions podcast, TLP Sports. And Harry, the reason why you were so smart in college is because, you ain't had no TV. There was no TV growing up. You guys, all y'all do.
How you gonna come for me? I'm right here. Come on now.
All you guys do is study, man, and run around, and so you're more athletic and you're more intelligent, man, because we have those things, the distractions here, and growing up you did not. So thank you. I appreciate it. I love this podcast, and I appreciate you sending me that link, man. That really helps me out to get there.
I gotta keep doing that now. I just send a link to whoever's on. If you can come on.
Thank you to everyone, and I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Look, man, y'all can come for me on my own podcast, on my own channel. I'm good. It's all good. Hey, man, I really appreciate the fact that we have grown men here. Like I said, man, look, this channel is different. We got real grown men here. We don't mind being corrected. We don't mind learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I admire Tim for just being able to say, all right, man, I'll take a listen and I'll have some grace. It takes grown people. It don't happen like this on every other channel. So I appreciate what God is helping me to grow here on TLP, where we have a safe space where people can come here and share information and share ideas, and we can respect each other's opinions without getting personal. You know what I'm saying? Without saying, oh, who's that fat guy who's losing his breath? He's got that great. Even though that may be true, and I got to lose some weight, but you know what I'm saying? At least people respect the fact that, I have a difference of opinions of them, and I respect their opinions, and we don't have to get personal. We can just do what we do. That's what sports talk is all about. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hey, man, I thank y'all for being on the panel, y'all. Y'all have a good day.